Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the week in review. I'm going to be honest, guys. I know I say this every couple weeks. Let's see how quickly we can get in and get out of here because this really seemed like a bare bones week in the world of wrestling. You guys already know I do not watch AEW, so looking exclusively at WWE, not much happened. I think the biggest story, I usually talk about the biggest storylines first to open the show. No reason to change that here. Rhea Ripley is back. I think that was far and away the biggest thing that happened this week. I really liked how they set this up. Liv and Dom teaming up against Ray and Zelina. And, earlier in the night, they did like almost like a Triple H and Trish Stratus type segment, when Stephanie would walk in on him doing stuff and she was giving him like leg stretches or whatever. And he's like, oh, that feels pretty good. And like every member of the WWE was like popping their head in, including JD, which just looked hideous. And Priest was like, oh, man, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, it wasn't, just trying to explain it away. So they're still doing that whole thing. And then you get to the tag match and I really have to give commentary credit here because the finish is that Liv sets up Dom to capitalize against Ray because she knocks Ray off and he kind of straddles the ropes and he goes down clutching his balls because they're never safe. And Dom hits the frog splash and commentary points out Dom finally beat Ray for the first time in his career and it's because of Liv. I think that is a brilliant touch to in kayfabe win Dom over to Liv's side and to see the benefits of being the daddy Dom rather than just the Latino heat, but still a subby bubby to Rhea Ripley. And he hugs her excitedly at first, and then he backs off. He's like, whoa, 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 sorry. Got excited, beat my deadbeat dad, finally superior, chicken tendies on me. And then Liv hugs him back, and she practically like straddles him because they go down together, and they do that thing in the movies where it's like that like prolonged gaze, and they go in potentially for a kiss, and then Rhea's music hits, and Liv looks terrified, and she leaves the ring quickly. And then Rhea gets in the ring, doesn't really even do anything to Dom, but she does seem to kind of say to him, more or less, like, what the hell's going on? What have you been doing? Dom's trying to explain away because he didn't end it before she got back. And the only other two things I would note is that, we saw footage backstage, one of Liv laughing and kind of smiling, seeing Rhea being griefed like by Dom and more pertinently his inaction, and Priest chuckling and saying, consequences, which definitely shows that the bond between Priest and Rhea is still very strong, which I think is going to be important. And that Liv, if she's using Dom, which we've all believed that she was from the beginning, she is just loving it because the way she's using him, it's panning out the way that she would want it to. I gotta say, for a story that I really wasn't sure about, mainly because of Liv being heel and it seemed like she was kind of finding her footing, I think she's found her stride and she is just gliding in this now. And I've always liked Dom. I've never hated Dom like a lot of other people. I've even called him like a guilty pleasure. I think he's not as bad in the ring as people say he is. I think his selling is actually underrated. I think back to his match with Gunther, he was probably the best seller of Gunther's chops that I've seen in Gunther's WWE run. Him and like no, I was thinking of Drew chopping Randy there. But yeah, I think Dom's solid. Rhea, I think, is one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. Having her back in the conversation feels so good. Yeah, I just think all the pieces are there to do some really great television. But Ashton, again, I hand the floor over to you though, man, because I know you're a big fan of Liv's work. You've really been advocating for her in the Discord and really enjoying her stuff. And I think you've been enjoying this story too. So what are your thoughts about all this?
Yeah, I also really thoroughly enjoyed this segment. I was on cloud nine afterwards, just really loving both the segment in and of itself and sort of the implications of what might be to come going forward with this story in general. I even kind of posted my wish list for what I want to happen in the coming month or two, and I might as well just talk about it here. So
Yes.
I want to see Liv and okay, that's the wrong place to start. I want to see Dom try and act like he never really liked Liv, and eventually I want Rhea to believe him, and I want Rhea to forgive Dom, but then I want Dom to cost Rhea her first shot at Liv for the women's title on purpose. Like I want it to be very clear, like no accident. Dom intentionally just screwed Rhea and helped Liv to beat her. This was on purpose, and now Dom sides with Liv. Like that's my big number one thing. But then also, I want that to lead to some kind of big, maybe even Hell in a Cell type match at No Mercy or Bad Blood rather coming up in October.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly, I love your wish list for one. And secondly, I really see potential in babyface Priest and Rhea, particularly as a tandem, sticking together against a heel Judgment Day led by seemingly Dom and Liv. But I think you and well, I shouldn't speak for you. So speaking for myself, I still feel like Liv's got something going on with Finn on the side. So it would be interesting if it was really Finn and Liv, but Dom like was kind of like the avatar for a leader, but not the real leader underneath.
Yeah.
And so yeah, man, again, this just points to though, we are in an era where WWE is telling long form stories. And with how many stories they are juggling right now, there is no reason to believe in my mind that a lot of these won't culminate at Mania next year. And that is crazy to think about because if that's the case, what are Rhea and Liv going to do at Mania next year? If it does go that far, I could be wrong. It could culminate sooner. Nothing wrong with that. But I just feel like, man, it's amazing the layers that keep getting added to this. So big ups to them. Excited to see what's next. Is there anything else you want to say about this story before I move on to like the hotter stories of this week?
I think it would be really cool if we got like Liv and Dom versus Rhea and Priest at some point. That's like a sooner than later kind of thing for me. But I also think it would be interesting if we do get a moment where maybe like maybe when Rhea does beat Liv for the title, Liv gets angry at Dom and maybe even dumps him and runs off to reveal that Finn was the one that she was really into the whole time.
Yeah.
And then it would be really funny if Finn was like, "Oh, but you're not women's champion anymore, and I only date winners."
Damn. Dude, that'd be so messed up.
Because then
Wow.
it would be like Liv's whole revenge tour was her trying to take everything away from Rhea. By the end, though, it would be that Liv will have lost everything that she tried to take from her in the process. Like she tried to take everything away from Rhea. She took the title. She took Dom. She took most of Judgment Day at least. But then by the end, it all gets taken back away from her, and not necessarily back to Rhea, because I would assume that Rhea would no longer be a part of the Judgment Day, like in the sense that like the Judgment Day at that point would probably be like Finn, Dom, JD, Liv, right? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like because then Rhea and Damien would kind of do their own things, but like everything else just got taken away from Liv. I just kind of love the idea of Liv getting her comeuppance to that degree. I think that's great.
Very Shakespearean. Again, he who pursues revenge digs two graves. And so live being fueled by revenge, it's a fuel that doesn't last.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think on that note, I think you said it perfectly. I'm gonna keep giving you the floor though, because I know I kind of dominated the first segment. How did you feel about Punk Rollins? Because I actually really thought
Oh, I
Rollins
love
cooked.
that. I love that too. I think Raw was just far and away the best show this week. Like even
I
better
th-
than
I really think
NXT.
it was, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah, I agree with you.
I loved. To me, it felt a lot like Seth Rollins putting Punk in his place in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Because like he made it very clear that like Punk fucked up because of Punk's sort of both narcissism and tunnel vision. Because Punk is so like one track mind, but also Punk thinks the world revolves around him and he thinks that he can just do whatever he wants without any kind of consequences because he's CM Punk and he's this great, ratings draw and he's got all this drawing power. WWE's never going to do anything to him and he's going to get off scot free no matter what and everything. And like, no, that's not how things actually work. So yeah, I loved Seth, in my mind at least, really putting Punk in his place, really kind of holding a mirror up to Punk, I feel like, and showing him, like, dude, you're a piece of shit. Have a look. Let me show you how much of a piece of shit you really are. And I don't think that Punk actually heard any of it, but it was great to hear on my end. And I feel like a lot of the audience got to actually like kind of see it for the first time too, where like a lot of the audience has just kind of been along for the ride, where it's like, oh man, Drew McIntyre, he's such a bad guy, he's such a piece of shit. I'm glad that CM Punk's getting his revenge on him. And now Seth is like their guy, and Seth is confronting Punk with his own sort of dickheadishness. And the crowd's like, wait a minute, have we been rooting for the baddie the whole time? And I love
Yeah,
it.
I think you said everything perfectly, so I don't want to belabor the point. I hate CM Punk so much, bro. Because like the thing
No,
is,
same, dude. Same. 100% same.
because I will say this, and again, you already made all the salient points. I don't want to belabor any of them, but I will just say this: I love that Seth in the beginning, like before Punk's first interjection, lays out all the facts just very clearly. And honestly, look, if we're being real, because it's pro wrestling, Punk should be lucky that Seth even opted for words when I think he would have been in the right to at least punch Punk in the mouth at the very least. Because you just cost me. Well, he really didn't, as we're going to find out later in a way. But, at the time, you cost me another world title match as long as Priest was champion. They would have a backstage segment later where Priest lifted it because I think he didn't like how he won, and he said, "Look, if I get past Gunther, let's do it again, one on one for real this time, you and me." Good luck with that, Priest. Just saying. Um, but we didn't know that at the time. So Rollins makes his case, and Punk does that thing where like I think he like acknowledges that, but he doesn't apologize. And I hate because that's pretty much every like Wattpad apology ever. It's like, oh, I understand that people were hurt. And I apologize if you were hurt by that. No, it's not if I was. I'm telling you I was hurt.
Dude,
I'm
it was
telling you this
worse
happened to me.
though. It was I apologize, but he did
Yeah,
the but. He said I
yeah.
apologize to you, but, and he made it seem like Seth deserved it. Like, oh my god, this he justified. He literally did a both of our dads and went out of his way to justify his horrible actions.
Dude, it is like I don't see how you can, and I'm being serious because me and Sean especially. I've been having so much fun with them in the Discord, being
Yeah,
like the Drew Brigade, and I don't apologize, but I'm having a fun time.
yeah.
But like putting my commentator cap on with you because this isn't the Discord and this is our podcast, and we like to really look at wrestling, especially these days when it's really taking itself seriously as a storytelling medium. I don't understand how you can look at this and not gain sympathy for Drew after this because Punk is pretty much telling you, yeah, Drew may be a bit unhinged and he may take things too far. Like I think that's still on the table for anti-Drew people, which I mean I can't relate, but whatever. But you have to see that like, yeah, he is a prick. And like I'm just looking at this and I'm like, Seth has done literally nothing wrong to you. He's kept it verbal to you. He didn't injure or tear your fucking tricep. He didn't rub your nose in it. He's been focused on the world title and he's been focused on ending the bloodline. And he did that, and now he's focused on regaining the world title after rehab, something that you should
Also, I
sympathize with.
love how Punk called Seth winning the world title a pipe dream, as if Seth hasn't literally held more world titles than Punk ever has.
Yeah. Yeah, and like has had ridiculously long reigns with them too, because his first WWE title reign before he got injured had to end. And then yeah, that inaugural WWE World Heavyweight Championship reign, nobody expected him to hold it out long. I certainly didn't. And so yeah, like, dude, I
Oh.
hate CM Punk so much, bro. I'm like, I am rooting for Drew so bad, but I will give WWE credit for this again on the writing
Five,
level.
by the way. I wanted to throw that number out there. Seth has held 5 world titles in WWE. CM Punk. Oh my God, Punk's actually technically held 6 if you count ECW. That's crazy.
Wow. Wow.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. 2 of Seth's were Universal,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they treated that Universal title as above everything.
Well, I mean, I guess a lot of people did think fruit roll-ups were the superior snack. I never really. I mean, Roman really did a lot for that title. Thank you, Roman, by the way.
Thank
Um,
you, Roman.
clap, 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 clap. I only actually enunciated it because I know Chris wouldn't pick it up. But yeah, like, no, man, I thought this was some amazing promo work from Seth. And here's the thing: looking at Punk purely as a character, because I think I've also been pretty out and out that I don't really care for him much as a human being either. But if he turns heel at any point in this story, I think I could really vibe with him as a character because my God, what a douche. Like I've already told you, I've said multiple times now, I would not be surprised if one day he found himself being leader of Judgment Day. Because who really brought the world title to you guys? Was it Priest or was it me? Yeah, I'm gonna say it was me. All right. I won it for you initially, and then I helped you retain it twice. Twice. I think that'd be incredible. It's absolutely incredible. But no, I feel for Drew. I do think the writing is great, although I have to say I'm really getting sick. Another person that we need to talk about if we're talking about this story, P Head Pierce really needs to start doing a better job because I don't understand what this crap is of Punk gets fined, but Drew gets suspended. Now I know. Pierce took an elbow to the face. But did you maybe take stock of the fact that the dude was a little wound up and maybe trying to restrain him from behind wasn't the correct move? I would have been talking to him from the side, like, Drew, what are you doing? Let's go to my office. Let's talk about this. What are you doing? And then maybe he still would have shoved me, but I don't think I would have gotten elbowed in the face. So, look, I'm not saying it's Pierce's fault, but I am 1000% saying it's Pierce's fault. And I just, Drew deserves better than this. And screw CM Punk. So yeah, I'm very curious what Drew's going to say next week because they're going to have a sit down, I guess, talking about a suspension and where to go forward. You want to talk about Hell in a Cell and bad blood? This feels like the most legitimate Hell in a Cell endgame feud I have seen in so goddamn long. But see, I just worry about Punk's frail body. If I knew he could work and I knew he had the stability, I would be salivating for it. Instead, I'm very tentative. Like, do I really want to see Grandpa play in the cage? No, no, I don't think I do. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Let's see what else, because actually, I want to run game on this next story that I want to talk about because again, I'm focusing on the really big points because I do think on the whole this was bare bones, but I also agree with you that Raw was the best show by far. Um, Braun Breaker being a fucking turbo Chad and asserting dominance. Sami Zayn comes out. No, look, I'll give Sami his flowers. Amazing babyface, amazing competitor. I've advocated for him on here. Ashton certainly has. We've got no qualms with Sami Zayn. But, he comes out and he says, people have been kind of sleeping on me a little bit. Facts. People may, need to adjust how capable they believe I am. Facts. Nobody thought I could beat Braun Breaker, but I pulled it out. Speaking for myself, facts. And, he's just kind of going down and saying, I am the Intercontinental Champion. I'm proud to be Intercontinental Champion. And I'm like, I really wanted this to be Braun's crowning moment, but okay. And then Braun comes out, and then Sammy says, why are you out here, Braun? You want another shot, whatever. And I think he kind of implies that, he needs to go to the back of the line and earn it. And Braun doesn't say anything at first. And then he says, Sammy, I get it. I get that I'm supposed to go to the back of the line. And look, I just wanted to come out here and say, spear! And he spears him. And it's fucking delicious. And then he just fucking pounces on him and bludgeons him in the face. And I want to say, completely out of my goddamn mind, that Sammy deserved every bit of this. Why? Because nobody told you to win, Samuel. You should have just eaten the fucking spear. But no, you had to have the fucking heart of a lion and get the haluva kick and ruin my dreams. This is the premium you pay, Sammy. Fuck. So, yeah, listen, I just want to say, look, if it was any other wrestler, I would be up here being the adult in the room and saying, of course, you go to the back of the line, you win a fatal four-way maybe, or a tournament, and you get another shot.
Hey,
No, no. See, because
Sorry
I'm
about that,
me,
guys.
because I'm me, you guys know that I'm more than willing to make exceptions for rules. And Braun is the exception to that rule. I think a spear and watching a man wheeze while he was just boasting and puffing his chest out like he was the fucking shit of Monday nights. I think that more than enough warrants a rematch. So I, for one, am proud of Braun for asserting himself and getting back in the title picture. How did you feel about this segment? And is this feud still doing it for you?
Oh yeah, 100%. The only thing that I'm not a fan of about this is that Ilya is involved, and now he's getting an IC title shot on Monday. So that's not something that I'm super enthusiastic about.
Well, friend, I have great news for you, and this is the only context where well, actually, no, not the only context because I've never been a tanky, but the Soviet Union's about to fall a second time because Braun's going to come out next Monday. He's going to spear the shit out of Ilya Dragunov. Trust and believe it is going to happen. And I think
Nice.
he's going to get Sammy again, too. Why? Because he can, just like he did later that night, because Braun and Ilya had a match. and it was a great back and forth. And, I've already said in all sincerity, I don't mind Ilya in the ring. And Ilya, at one point, I think he was thinking about the Torpedo Moscow potentially. And Braun straight up threw an announcer chair at his face, just chugged it at his face. And like, amazing. Honestly, no notes. Gets it back in the ring, starts pounding him. And then inexplicably, and see, this is becoming a real problem. Sammy decides to show his face and get involved. I even said in the Discord, in all caps, all you had to do was stay in the back, Sammy. That's all you had to do. Just stay in the goddamn back. And he didn't. And, he got it too. So now we have a powder keg ready to explode. Javaris, and I have to give him credit for this because I believe he said this during our Monty Gold Summer Destiny live reaction, which if you're getting into Monty Gold, go check that out if you want to see how two people reacted to the pay-per-view. I thought it was a great show. I never gave it a score, but I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it enough. So yeah, that's on the channel if you guys want to check it out. But Javaris predicted that we would be doing Ilya versus Sammy versus Braun at SummerSlam. And I think that is a worthwhile idea, especially if they want Sammy to drop the title without eating the pin, because they may want to protect Sammy for a future feud with Gunther. We just saw that they're more than willing to invoke that. Trick lost his title without being pinned at Heatwave because Ethan Page pinned Javon Evans. So they could very easily do that where Braun pins Ilya or Ilya pins Braun. I don't know. But yeah, because I've already thought for a while Gunther wins the world title, but then Sammy's one of his first challengers because he beat him at Mania, and Gunther's going to have something to prove. I would even like it again, and I know I said this, I think, last week, if Gunther pursued Sammy because he wanted to get that off his back. So yeah, I'm all for that. Intercontinental title picture is looking interesting, but I do want to acknowledge his comment from Foster. He said, not going to lie, I don't care for Braun supposedly getting a title match when he lost with no controversy whatsoever. If Sammy got lucky, I could understand, but not like this. Like, there are so many other wrestlers on the roster. And you know what, Foster? Being sincere, I can understand that. That's why I wish Braun would have just won straight up. Or at the very least, you know what I would have liked? If Sammy hit the haluva kick, right? But the ring positioning was such where the count was legal, but Braun like imperceptibly had his foot under the rope, breaking the plane of the count. And then you have Braun kind of having that grievance because that's part of his character anyway, right? He keeps getting aggrieved. You leave me out of the King of the Ring tournament. People keep interfering in my matches. It's almost like a story where Braun by himself, if he could control the universe and bend it to his will, could do anything because he has all the natural gifts that need to be given to be the most dominant pro wrestler of all time. But just the contingency of the universe keeps fucking him over. And so, yeah, I think a foot under the rope, Foster, would have done me a lot of good too. I don't even disagree with you on that point. And you know what a Braun mark I am. But, Foster, I need you to understand as well, because I'm a fan, I put my fan cap on in these moments and I say, by any means necessary, get that title shot.
Yeah.
But I do just want to acknowledge that you make salient points for sure. So yeah, that's the Intercontinental title picture. Jay had a match with Chad Gable. And then again, the Wyatt Six came out. I actually wanted to check in with you on this. How are you feeling about this story all these weeks later, especially that segment where Bo was seen waiting in Pierce's office? Is this still kind of holding you? Because I know a lot of
Oh my
Bray's old
God, yeah,
stories.
that was
Yeah.
really really cool to me. That caught me. I was like, oh my God, that's I was. Who was it actually? I forget that was waiting to get into the office. That when he opened the door, like I forget who that was. Because there was somebody that was like waiting to get into Pierce's office, and he was like, "No, no, no, I'm busy," and they sent him away. And then when he opened the door, we saw Bo.
Oh God, you're right, bro. You're right.
Was
Was
it
it Braun
Chelsea?
even? I know it was Gable. It was Gable.
It
Foster's
was
right. It was
Gable.
Gable.
Thank
No,
you,
because you're
thank
thinking
you.
Chelsea on Friday standing outside Nick Aldis's
Oh no,
door.
I
Yeah.
remember that, but I just didn't know if she was doing anything like that on Monday too.
No, no, because I think she's SmackDown, so she's not Pierce's problem anymore, even though Pierce
That's
decides
right.
to make
Yeah,
himself a
that's fair.
problem.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
dude, the Bo's even just Bo's reaction, like the creepy smile, I just loved. He's always been such a good performer. I love that he's getting this opportunity. It's so good.
You know what's gonna be interesting to me, bro? And again, I've always felt very tentative about this whole thing because I still miss Bray and I love Bray, and this is not a criticism of Bray. But you have to admit, like, history doesn't change just because somebody's gone. There always got to be a point in Bray's stories where he would lose people, either because it got too convoluted, too moving parts, or it just was stagnant because nothing was happening. I'm wondering if Bo can avoid that problem because there does seem to be a different energy in how they're doing this. And I mean that in a good way. I like the taped segments with the VHS. I like that he's talking to Uncle Howdy almost as like this schism within Bo himself. And now him appearing physically in Pierce's office, that shows that I think this story has got more forward momentum than maybe I initially anticipated. I hope anyway, because you can't just be like I'll put it to you like this: the Wyatt Six should have some kind of a wrestling match at SummerSlam. To me, like you can't just be doing tape vignettes up to and then beyond SummerSlam. You need that break where you see them in the ring and you see what they can do and you see them cause sanctioned havoc, I'll say. Because you need those beats to, I think, keep people interested. So I'll hope that Bo can avoid that problem because that was a problem that Bray had in his career, and it's a shame because I loved how Bray told stories, but you need to keep it interesting. And I feel like Bray, it's a shame that he left us because Triple H is heavily invested in long form storytelling. So imagine the playground that Bray could have gotten to play in.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that Bo gets to play in it. Um, okay, let me just see that I'm not missing anything because I don't want to like overscale. Okay. Because I'm using a recap thing. You guys know I use TJRWrestling.net to give them a proper plug. We're not going to talk about Reed versus Pete Dunne. Screw that. Already talked about Sami Zayn. Don't need to talk about that. Um, Judgment Day beat Truth, Miz, and Strowman. So, that's cool. I know Truth and Miz are going to want their tag title rematch. We already just talked about Wyatt Six. We talked about Breaker versus Dragonoff. Um, yeah, Damage Control beating Lyra, Caden, and Katana. I was happy about this. I honestly thought Damage Control was going to lose and Kairi was going to be betrayed, but we still did get a development because Sonya Deville has finally won over Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. What do you think about this trio, bro? What did you think about their debut taking out Damage Control?
I'm not a big fan of Sonya. I've said that before. I think you already knew that. I just want to make sure that it's known just kind of here in our space to make sure that I'm not confused. Um, but I'm excited about this group, especially because I love Shayna. Shayna's awesome. She's the best. Um, so yeah, I really do hope that this is potentially something that can lead to Shayna getting more to do, potentially something that can lead to maybe Shayna winning a title or two. Unfortunately, it's probably just going to lead to Shayna winning tag titles. I would love it if Zoe and Sonya were the tag champions in this group and Shayna actually got a world title. You know, although then again, that seems pretty unlikely too, unless maybe we get the Liv Rhea storyline played out over the course of the rest of the summer and then the fall, and then maybe we get a Rhea Shayna storyline building up to WrestleMania. That would be cool. I would love that. I've been begging for a Rhea Shayna match since she won the title. I think at last year's WrestleMania. Since Rhea won the title at last year's WrestleMania. But like, yeah, man, I dig it. I think it's cool. Um, I hope that this doesn't take away from Damage Control because they are my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll just say this because obviously this is just getting started. In my opinion, and this is going to be the highest compliment I give this, and it might have peaked already on their debut. This is the coolest that Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark have ever looked. I don't know. There's something about three people coming together ever since the Shield and just beating people with such efficiency that I'm like, man, that's pretty awesome. And then the super kick taking EO out from Zoe, being like, you took everything from me, EO, because she blames EO for costing her money in the bank. I like that Money in the Bank has reverberations even this way down, even this far down the card. Yeah, I mean, this group, I mean, if you're only as good as your debut, I mean, they're a hot act already. Can they maintain that though? When you look at the personalities involved, Shayna's the coolest one. I agree with you completely. They should be pushing her and doing so much more with her than what they're doing. I hate it. I hate it so much. Zoe is just bland. I'm sorry. I know they're trying to make her a thing. They're trying so hard. You could see the concerted effort they are making with her. I don't think it's going to happen. And to be honest, that leaves Sonya, and I'm kind of ambivalent because I can honestly see where she could work, but I think she's closer to Zoe territory than Shayna for me right now. But I have the most hope in Sonya between her and Zoe to make a turnaround for me personally.
Right.
So we'll have to see how it goes. And that's pretty much Raw because then after this was the tag main event, and we opened the show with that, talking about that whole Liv, Rhea, Dom, everything segment. So now I want us to go to SmackDown because I think honestly SmackDown was skinnier than NXT as far as like noteworthy stuff. Because really the biggest thing was, oh wow, Randy Orton got taken out by the Bloodline and Cody got his throat thumbed again. Um, just to kind of touch on this, just to acknowledge it. Uh,
Ooh.
Cody Cody is so pathetic, man. Like, dude, look, I don't mean to be necessarily mean. Maybe I do. Maybe I'm the problem here. That is possible. Maybe my face is a bigger problem than Cody's face. I don't know. But it's so try hard, bro. No, no, you don't want him. Wait, 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 wait. You're protecting Randy Orton. You're protecting Randy Orton. I mean, I know you guys are cool and everything, but like, I don't know. Randy's a grown ass man, and I'm sure even in the back of his mind, he's thinking, well, just another, just another bill paid on my comeuppance, just another bill paid on my karmic debt to the universe. I don't know, man. I just don't feel like Randy is that vulnerable, sympathetic character that Randy tried to make him to be because, oh, that's my mentor, that's my friend, like hell, if Dusty was still around and they did this to Dusty, I would get it because you're talking that'd be a frail fucking man at that point. But it's fucking Randy. I don't know. I was just like, yeah, this is a bit cheese for me. This has been a bit comical. Uh Thank you, Foster. That's the kind of spirited defense that I live for, my man. Thank you. I love you so much. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know, guys. Again, being serious, it just came off as a lame segment to me. I get that you're trying to make Solo versus Cody personal. It just isn't. You know what the cooler thing that the Bloodline did tonight was, or I shouldn't say tonight, but on Friday night, Jacob Fatu taking out the tag champions. That was cool. I even wonder if he's going to team with Tamatonga or Tongaloa, even though Tamatonga and Tongaloa are the tag team. If Jacob's just going to rip one of them and be like, let's win tag gold. Okay, cool. And then Jacob, you know what would be so fucking badass? If Jacob never even tagged out. If he just won the match by
Dude,
himself,
I
bro.
would
Like,
love that. That would be fantastic.
and bro, it's not unprecedented, and I can't believe I'm invoking this name in this context, but I'm a Benoit mark even after everything. And like he won the tag titles by himself once. La Resistance, Taboo Tuesday, fucking 2004. Edge abandoned him because that was the start of his heel run, being like, but why aren't I world champion me? Which that's not a diss. I fucking love that Edge so much. That Edge, I am so glad you never apologized for anything. You showed everyone that accountability is for marks. But Benoit won the tag titles by himself. It was insane. Now, he's like this tenacious, like honey badger motherfucker, right? If he can do it, Jacob Fatu can absolutely do it against two fucking vanilla nerds like Champa and Gargano. I'm sorry. Like, I totally buy that. I totally buy him double Samoan dropping both of them, double spearing both of them, stacking them, and pinning them. And you know what? If he did, and I'm begging WWE to do this, but I don't think they will, I wouldn't even want him to give Tonga or Tama, whoever he picks, their share of the tag title. I would want him to come out with both of them and defend both of them by himself until the reign ends as the ultimate fucking flex. I don't know. I just took all of us camping. That's how excited I am. So yeah, Jacob Fatu continues to be a fucking delight. And just I thank him for existing. I really do. I really, really do. Uh Beyond that, not really much to talk about here because so much feels stagnant, or we just don't give a shit about these people. And yeah, I will say the only other thing I guess would be they are again teasing the Tiffany Mike cash in at SummerSlam. But again, we don't really care for Tiffany. So I think that about covers it. That's, yeah, like not really much to say about SmackDown. So let's get to NXT. And yeah, I don't know where to begin with NXT. We know Trick is hot because he lost the NXT title without actually losing the NXT title. And then it just kind of erupts into a brawl from the guys in the fatal four way anyway, because Trick cuts off Ethan because Ethan's out and he's bragging about his win. And then Spears comes out and he's like, Ethan, you should thank me. I don't blame Sean for hating this motherfucker. I'm like, God damn it, Spears. Like, you're literally like gonna brag or try and like worm your way back into the picture by saying, oh, you should thank me because I helped you. Why didn't you help yourself, you goof? It was a fatal four way. What are you doing? Um, and then Javon comes out, and my heart breaks for Javon and all his fans because you guys got hoed on Tuesday. I mean, this dude comes out, he talks his talk, and he says, no, nobody's gonna put Javon in the corner, right? He's gonna assert himself. He wants another crack himself. And I'm thinking, oh, we might just do this again because that Heat Wave four way was a bit screwy at the end there. And yeah, yeah, that doesn't happen. You know why? Because of fucking Brooks Jensen taking Javon Evans out. I just want to get ahead in this and say I hate this. I absolutely unequivocally hate this. I really thought that I was going to have a more uncomfortable conversation with you about NXT, but they did do some things right that made me think, okay, we're not completely catering to the white supremacist demographic. But it is just really bad that a guy that's always had a Southern gimmick, that I really do think NXT wants to make him Hangman Page Light, or I guess Wish.com Page, if you prefer. He gets his job back, and what's the first thing he does? He attacks the young black wrestler upstart in Javon Evans. Like, I'm sorry, it's not a good look. It's
Yeah.
not to me.
Yeah, we
Um,
were talking about this in chat in the Discord, and man, all of us saw this for what it was. Jensen, you a racist piece of shit, bro.
yeah, dude.
And
Yeah,
we
look,
literally we were calling for his job. We were literally like, okay, now that he did this, can we fire him now? Can we actually release him now? Like, this was his second chance, and this was what he did. Like, this isn't acceptable. Fuck off.
yeah, like guys, you know that I try and be judicious, and I want to thank Alex Foster for he didn't call me out because I look at call out as a very negative, like an aggressive connotation. He just politely, tenderly asked, as in his beautiful fucking nature, but weren't you a fan of Jensen? And I'm like, I was, but I've hated this whole story so far. And he said he's been neutral on it. I think what soured me on it, just keeping it 100% real, and I've already said this at length. I think they're doing too much too quickly, and they did it again. He literally just gets his job back and it doesn't even breathe, and he's already attacking people. And Briggs is like, "What are you doing?" And it's like, why didn't you like? You know what I would have preferred if you had to do something. I would have preferred if he like went to Trick's locker room because let's keep in mind he cost Trick that match against Sean Spears a few weeks back, and he's like, "Hey Trick, I want you to know, man, I got the second chance. I don't want to waste it. And I just want to say, I apologize. I shouldn't have gotten involved in your match. I'm really sorry." And then Trick, like, he accepts it because he's a babyface, but he accepts it in that way where his walls are clearly up because that's part of his character.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't trust anybody since
Since
Mello.
Mello, yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, he accepts it because he's a good dude, but he's like, but if you get in my business again, like, it's on site, it's your ass. And Jensen is like, okay. But then you tease maybe that they're going to have a match down the road because, again, I'm being realistic that they want to use Jensen, but I'm trying to fix how they're using him because it's just, to me, it's a mess. To me, maybe I'm way out of pocket and it's like, John, you need to relax. It's really not that bad and fair. But I did not get this at all. I'm like, wow, really? And why Javon? And again, I can already answer my own question because in Sean's mind, he's probably thinking, well, Javon's the youngest and he's got the most time, but he's also fucking over. And he was also, in my mind, the star of that four-way at Heat Wave. So, like, why do you take him out? And it's like, god damn. You could have just done the subtle tease with Trick, apologizing, but maybe not even really being sorry. It's like, look, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I just got the job back, whatever. And if WWE had any sense of like what's going on in the world, they could maybe even make this into an entertaining heel gimmick where he's got like this delusional sense of victimhood. Like, Trick, I get that you're miffed, but I mean, think about what I went through because you and I beating that up like, oh, entitlement ass, but that would be the character. But no, I think I don't know what they're trying to do with him. I think they're trying to make him, if I had to guess, just this guy that's doing the wrong shit, but oh, you shouldn't give up on him because he's just very confused. Fuck that. Fuck that. He didn't seem confused about who he was attacking or what he was doing. So no, Jensen's used up the goodwill with me. I thought this story could be interesting, but I'm not liking where it's going. So that happened. And then that leaves Trick without a partner. So then it's, oh, who's going to be the partner? And I need to get ahead of this too. I like Joe Hendry. I'm actually a fan of his personally. I know you've said that you don't really like care for the songs and stuff because I know you talked about like Top Dollar and him making fun of the dive, but we know that dive only happened because like Top Dollar that dive revealed to him that he was diabetic, and thank God he didn't fucking die. And
Yeah.
I get that. I do on the whole though like Joe Hendry. Can I say though, Jesus fucking Christ, I don't like being beaten with a shovel. I feel like they forced those hints about that it was going to be Joe Hendry all night. And I get it because you
Yeah.
want people to tune in. But like, dude, Spears and Ethan laughing in the locker room of, oh, do you believe he's going to find a tag partner? No, I don't believe he will. Like, what the fuck? Like, am I in a fucking comic strip? Is this a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon? Like, what is happening? Okay, what is happening? That is absurd. That is absurd. Um, and then he showed up, like his face showed up on the Tron. And then oh yeah, the Rascals, which we'll get to that in a second,
Dude, that
said
segment was
yeah,
so good. I loved that one.
Yeah, you know what? We may talk about that one because that might have actually been the highlight of this episode of NXT for me, even too.
It was a
But
pretty
they're like,
weak episode, so that's probably something I agree with.
yeah, that's what happens when you don't cater to your black audience that you were growing. Way to go there, Sean. You're doing a real great job. But yeah, the Rascals were like, oh, don't say his name. Oh my God, really? And it's like, goddamn, be a little less heavy handed there. But you know what, man? Since you broached it and you said you loved it, I want you to talk about the Rascals. What did you think about Wes's promo here, and what did you think about just everything leading up to this?
I gotta be honest. I think that this idea that Wes could overcome this devastating back injury, but then be unable to defeat the most dominant rookie we've seen since Brock fucking Lesnar, and that would be the thing that breaks him and gets him to be like, you know what, I think I quit, is ridiculous. But I'm at least glad that it led to the reunion of MSK slash the Rascals. And I'm also glad that it's leading to Wes finally having some fucking backup against these racist ass motherfuckers in Gallus. Because they were the ones that they attack him. I don't know if it was at Heatwave, but they did attack Wes fairly recently. And I literally said, "Oh, you know what? I think I even okay. Um, Rascals versus Gallus when? Okay, maybe not when. Okay, maybe I said it other way. Gallus versus MSK? Rascals. Okay. Fuck. I can't find it. Maybe it was in live wrestling discussion.
Okay.
Here it is. June 9th. Was that a pay per view? Was that a PLE June 9th?
June 9th. What was the PLE before Heatwave? Was it Battleground?
Was it
Uh
Battleground? I think, yeah. Yeah, because that was the one in the MMA arena. I literally said, and I quote, what are the odds we get a full 3v3 match between Gallus and the Rascals? And we're literally getting that now.
um if you want to know how broken I am as a person, I immediately thought, what if this leads to betrayal? Because I'm like,
That's so fucking perfect. I love you.
so I'm like, what if now what's the other guy's name?
Which one?
Next to not Nash Carter, the other one.
Trey Miguel.
Uh, Trey okay, I thought so. Yeah. So what if Nash and Trey, but emphasis on Nash, just betray him? Because it's like, wow, you watched me lose my dream job that I dedicated to my dead fucking dad, and then you acted so broken up about it. And then what did you go do? You went to have the singles career that you secretly always wanted, and you had this amazing North America title reign, and everybody forgot about me. So I'm thinking like. He doesn't seem to be holding a grudge, but man, if he were to
Dude,
betray him,
if he
fuck.
was in NXT like for real, like back under contract, I would 100% see that happening. But because this is just like a special like, hey, TNA's doing a partnership thing, I really don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, I have to agree. Again, I even preface this by saying, "Do you want to know how broken I am?" Kind of implicitly acknowledging the wrongness of my position, but I just had to share it with the group because I'm like, man, if they attack him right now. Holy shit! Like I might actually laugh from the shock because I'd be like, "What the hell are you doing?" Um, but no, friendship's important. I'm sure they'll make it through this. I'm sure it'll be fine. They'll beat up Gallus, and then maybe they'll go after the tag titles. But I just wanted to be remembered that I broached this subject, okay?
You
Just in
sure
case
did.
Nash
Yeah.
gets ideas,
Yeah.
just kind of looking at Wes a certain way, like you motherfucker. So we don't know, but I actually do want to talk about this just to give one man props. Tony D has made that Heritage Cup look better to me than it's ever looked. When you can make me actually enjoy a Lexus King matchup,
Oh,
hot damn.
damn.
Somebody, I mean,
I didn't
look,
know that he did that for you. I didn't enjoy this match.
I did. Yeah. Look, let me put it to you in the Tony D'Angelo way. The sauce, it's clinging to the pasta. All right. Like it is, everything is fucking happening. I think he's great with this Heritage Cup. I like that he gets to really show off his power. I love that he gets to show off his amateur background because the guy his size doing amateur shit. Like, I'm sorry, like I actually like No Quarter Catch Crew, and I am gonna miss Damon Kemp. I don't know why I was so surprised by his release, but given that his brother left, I should have known that he wasn't going to be too far behind. But I still like them, and I like the segment they did with Ren Sinclair being like, "I didn't see anything," but I gotta tell you, man, watching Tony D do real grabs, it just does it for me. This might be the biggest I've ever been a fan of his because I started out really hot in the beginning, and then I'm like, he doesn't seem to be progressing, but now he's won me back again, and I'm like, I think this guy's one of my favorite acts in NXT. Him and the whole group, Luca, Adriana, Stax, like the whole family's great, and I think that's really a home run is when you like the whole faction. So I really, really enjoy him with this Heritage Cup, and I just wanted to give him props. And if you guys are thinking, wow, you really didn't talk much about Lexus King, though, yeah. So moving on.
S tier delivery, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not gonna talk about Gallus being pieces of shit. I will just say, talking about the people that I do like, Tyson and Tyreek, do not give up. We love you and we fucking believe in you. And also, can I just say too that I love how black NXT's tag team division is getting, especially now getting Cedric and Ashanti on the fucking roster. Please
Dude, the
do
weird thing
something
is
with
though,
them.
even though they were part of the same segment, they didn't interact with each other at all.
They better. I want that tag team, damn it. I sold the vignettes and you sold me a dream. Now you're going to live it out or I am going to be pissed. So, yes, I am excited for them. I'm excited that the tag division seems to be, again, just like so many legitimate black tag teams, not even just thrown together because, hey, you're black, I'm black. Are you seeing the vision? No. These are genuine fucking tag teams with genuine history and genuine relationships. Who would have fucking thought? I just will have to see who comes out on top of the mountain, especially when the tag titles are held by two milquetoast fucking dweebs. God damn. But yeah, tag division, it's got the parts. It just doesn't have the right champions. And I think the moment you switch it off of them, hopefully to good champions, even if it would be a more heel-ish Chase U, we're cooking again in my mind because I'm loving the depth of this division now that it's getting, especially now again with Cedric and Ashanti. But Gallus beat Tyson and Tyreek, which made me hate life for a few seconds. I'm not going to lie to you because we already have enough of that happening in the real world, and I don't really need that in my wrestling. I'd like to see these guys kind of thrive and get the opportunities that they deserve because they're legitimately fucking talented with a great and inspiring backstory. And yet Gallus is like, I don't know, they look like Brexit voters if they just did that whole fucking thing. I don't like them at all, if you couldn't tell. So, yes, that happened. Already talked about Wesley. Thea Hale beat Izzy Dame. Oh, that's right, because Ridge said that, he kind of talked to Ava and Thea's going to begin her path back to the NXT Women's Championships. I don't know. Thea could be a future challenger for Roxanne. I'm still waiting for that fucking Julia matchup. I have no idea when it's coming out. I've personally given up. That's no surprise there. And Ridge has also gotten Duke a North American Championship match. So, how do we feel about Duke versus Oba? Is that a match that gets you out of bed, partner?
Very much so, yes. Very, very much so. Yeah, man. I'm stoked about it. I can't wait for Tuesday to see that.
Again, I don't know if this is a me like, oh my God, John, please talk to somebody. Why are you using this podcast for everything? But I'm really ready for Duke to just kick Andre in the face. I don't know why, but I've never wanted somebody to big league somebody else with the I'm literally taller than you energy in my life. I like Andre. I really do, but I don't know. I think I'm really getting sick of Duke just in that getup when I'm like, you're a genuinely really good fucking wrestler and you have size. Like you've told people to gain height. Duke Hudson doesn't need to gain height. He is the height. And like, I don't know, man.
Duke is one of the very few men in all of pro wrestling that can look Obafemi in the eyes, man. That's crazy.
fucking eye contact. And we ain't just talking about Hanan and Mayu, baby. Love that tag team, though. I want them to be future Goddesses champs so bad. Please, God. But what we are talking about is two girthy, meaty, dominant fucking men. And what's Andre going to do? Oh, this is a teachable moment. Is it? Is it? Is it? How about we talk about the teachable moment of you getting your university in debt? How about the teachable moment of winning a championship and then losing it in like a hiccup? Like I took a nap and I apparently missed the whole thing. Adjust your curriculum, ass face. You're failing these fucking people. So Oba isn't really sweating it, and to be honest, I don't blame him. He's Oba, and why would he? They wear sweaters, bro. They wear fucking sweat. Like,
Listen,
okay,
I just want to make it clear that not both members of this podcast support this Andre Chase you slander. Only one of them does.
what? I'm glad you differentiated yourself from me. I don't know how that hasn't become more commonplace in all the years we've done this, which shows your deep sense of loyalty, and I totally understand this one. But no, just as far as speaking for Oba, they wear fucking sweaters. They have their own cheering section that I'm pretty sure has done fuck all for them. This
I mean,
is
Ridge has been very helpful as a cheerer.
true. I'm talking about the literal section though in the audience. I'm like, yeah, you just stag those people. Didn't ever see any of you get in the goddamn ring. You know, if it was
Well, no,
Ridge versus
wasn't
Oba,
that one guy? I mean, he got released eventually, but the blonde guy, the big, the linebacker guy from like one of the Dakotas or something that ended up he got released. But I know that
bro, us not even remembering his name and him ultimately getting released. I know it doesn't prove my point, but it doesn't disprove it in the best way
what
either.
title
Like
has Andre
Jason,
Chase held?
yeah, well, he was an NXT Tag Team Champion once with Duke Hudson,
Oh, it was with
and
Duke. Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
I thought it was
Uh,
with that guy. I forgot the guy's name.
is it was it? No, it wasn't Bo or something. No, was it Brody?
It might have been
Brody
Brody.
Hayward?
It
Brody.
might. I thought it was Bodie.
It
Yeah,
was
it was
okay. So
Bodie.
I was right. I was right in thinking Bo. It was Bo D Hayward. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah, yeah,
you. Of
yeah,
course,
yeah. There
Foster
was
would know.
that guy. That guy came from
And
the cheering section. So they did a story with the
yes,
cheering section already. They just don't want to
yeah,
be repetitive. Ha!
yeah. Well, yeah. And well, and how'd that story work out? Huh? I rest my case. Anyway,
Listen, it wasn't Andre Chase's fault that the dude got released. Jeez, fuck Nick Khan. Nick Khan's the problem here.
look, I understand that, and I agree with you. Look, I'm just saying again, speaking as far as the North American Championship aspirations, Chase, you ain't got a shot in hell. All right, Oba will take them all down to the fucking ground. And as far as Foster goes, to answer his question, and I'm gonna take the tone out of my voice because it's Foster and he's beautiful, and I love him so much. John, were you nice to your teachers? I was. The sad thing is, my teachers weren't always nice to me. So, yeah, that's a little bit of my childhood trauma for you all. And yeah, so go Oba, go North American Championship God King, reign forever, and Chase you. Just good luck, I guess. I don't know. Maybe get better attire. I don't know. You know who's doing great though? You know who I'm actually proud of this week? Out the mud, baby. OTM. They
They
beat the
looked
OC.
great.
Bro, you know what? You know what? First of all, who identifies as an OTM fan in the chat? Because whoever identifies as one, I've got a question
I
for
know
you all.
Alex is one.
Yeah, I wanted to confirm if Foster was one, but if anybody else is, I just wanted to kind of get that to see if anybody could check me when I say what I'm about to say, because I don't know if people will agree with me or disagree with me. But I watched this match, and you know what my first thought was? Man, out the mud has improved. Because I remember a few months ago when they challenged the family for the NXT tag titles, and they look good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they were the drizzling shits, but you could tell where they needed polish. And I'm like, there's definitely a tag team here, but they need time. And I'll say all these months later, they looked so good in this match to the point where if they got back in the tag title picture, I would be all about it. I'd even be down with them being the tag team champions. I really think that they've improved by a good bit, and them beating the OC, I think, is a huge deal because perception is everything. And I think these guys have always been perceived as one of the bigger tag teams in the division. Now, I'm going to be honest with you all. I thought I originally thought they were going to lose this, and that was going to be part of me potentially having a very different tone for NXT this week because Jensen would have already attacked Javon, and Gallus would have beaten Tyson and Tyreek. If OC would have done it, I would have been like, okay, Sean, we need to talk about the word of the day, fucking optics. And I still think we need to have that talk, to be fair, but OTM got the win here. And so it did assuage my anger a little bit. Michin came out and she's starting stuff with Jada. Jada, who, to her credit, seems to be the star of this stable of Out the Mud. I mean, I gotta tell you guys, like, she's been winning me over more and more each week. I still think her in ring could use a little bit of work, but as a talker, which I think matters more in the long term, man, it is game set match for this woman. I love her confidence. I love that she believes every goddamn thing she says.
Yeah.
I don't have to second guess. Like, are you trying to convince yourself or me? No, she believes it, homie. She's like, "Yo, this is my
I
playground. What the
feel
hell
like
are you
even
doing here?"
though I don't know if I would go as far as to say that both Lucian and Bronco are main roster ready, Jada is. Jada, you could put her on the main roster. Everything that Zelina Vega is doing right now, she could do, if not maybe even better.
I agree. I agree with you. And look, I know you're a Zelina Vega fan. Like none of us, and neither one of
Yeah,
us have a problem with her or anything like that. But
yeah.
I think you speak truth there. Because here's the thing again, Jada, her in ring, and I didn't even watch a street fight with Meechin. I still need to go and watch
Whew,
that.
they
I think
cooked,
it's
bro. They cooked.
yeah, yeah, and I know you've been saying that. That's why I want to watch it because I know you were very high on that. So I could even be wrong. I could even be undervaluing her in ring side. But even if I wasn't, I feel like, and I know this is kind of a hot take in a lot of corners these days, but I feel like the wrestling is the least important part of pro wrestling if you
I
really want to be
totally agree
successful
with
and
you.
you yeah, if you really want to be successful and you really want to make money, that all you need to do is know how to work safe. If you know how to protect your opponent,
Yep.
you're good. That's literally it. Because that's your biggest the wrestling, the biggest responsibility of the wrestling is taking care of the person you're sharing the ring with. That's it. Jada can do that. Girl, you make all the money you fucking want because she has got a mouth on her that'll make fucking money. The promo she's doing. I think I will go as far as to say right now, and I don't hate Roxanne by any means. I think Jada's the best talker in that division by far. I hear a lot of
Yeah.
other women talk, and I got to be honest, it either is weak sauce, just period, or it seems like there's something there, but they're struggling to find an identity.
Yep.
Jada has neither one of those problems. She's cleared both of those
Or I think in
barriers.
Roxanne's case, it feels a lot like she's putting on an act. It feels a lot like she's kind of like fake it to make it kind of thing.
Well, bro, when you've got Javaris openly saying, I can't take her seriously when she's that adorable, like, she probably knows it too. She's like, I don't have hate in my heart. How do I do this? Like, I just want to love people. I just want to be that baby face. I mean, she's having fire fucking matches. Granted, the one with Lola had a bit of, hiccups here and there, but, far from a bad match in my mind.
Right.
But yeah, as a heel, she's amazing at the wrestling, the talking, not her fault. It does feel a bit forced. I agree with you. Jada, though, nah, man. Jada don't give a fuck. She's like, listen, hey, you ride with me? No? Fuck you. I'm gonna win anyway. Like, yes. Yes, woman. Yes. Fuck these hoes. I am all for it, man. I really am, man. Cause no, look, I'm gonna be real. Okay. We're seeing what Sean's doing. We're seeing what that lazy eye's fucking doing, okay? Like fucking Gallus and Jensen and everything else. No, if you want to have black characters that aren't stereotypes, but also say, I don't fuck with you, but I'm gonna overcome you. Like, yes, yes, do it. Do it. The black experience is not a monolith. And that's the one thing that NXT, I wish they would draw on more. Because on one hand, you have Tyson and Tyreek that are community organizers, that are med students, this and that. And then you have Jada, who again, I don't think is a stereotype, but it stands on fucking business, right? Stands on fucking business and gets the fucking job done. Black experience isn't a monolith, and then you have Oba, who's a Nigerian god king. Like, tap into that. Whereas I'll tell you what looks like a monolith on NXT: whiteness. Because tell me the fucking difference, really, between Gallus and Jensen. Come on now, be serious. Yeah, man. NXT could be so much bigger than what it is, and like I hope Sean knows that, but I'm fearing more and more each week that he doesn't. Ever since Heat Wave, but we'll have to see. Fallon and Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka wins by disqualification. Finally, it seems like this new stable's coming together. Jasmine, JC, and Fallon. Gonna be honest, keeping an open mind to this, but not really wowed by this. What did you think about this? Do you have any opinions on this faction?
Um, I'm not the biggest fan of really any of them. If I'm just kind of talking about who I think has the most upside to be a star, it's Jasmine.
Interesting. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think Fallon just doesn't do it for me at all, really.
That's fair, man.
JC,
Yeah.
I actually do like JC as far as like her in ring goes. I think she's a good, solid worker. She's a good hand. She's the type like I don't know, like a almost like a female JTG type where she can just kind of sticks around for like 10, 15 years and you forget she's even on the roster, but like she shows up every now and then and we're like, whoa, damn, she's still around because she just kind of, is just always useful because it's always useful to have someone like her around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But like, yeah,
Yeah.
Fallon, I don't know. I mean, Fallon's gonna get pushed without a doubt. There's no doubt in my mind they're gonna push her because they're gonna want her to be almost like the next Mickey James. Like they kind of had one like 15 years ago in like Audrey Marie. Do you remember Audrey Marie?
I vaguely remember her, but yes, I remember that she
She
was a
was gonna
thing.
get pushed to the fucking moon, dude. She was gonna get pushed to the moon. I don't know what happened. I think she might have like gotten pregnant, retired or something. I really don't remember for sure. Was she married to Breeze? Was she and Breeze an
Was
item?
she?
I don't
Dude, I
remember.
honestly don't know because I barely remember her. You even saying she was gonna get pushed to the moon shocks me because I never got that impression from what I
Dude, they
do
wanted her to
remember.
be the next Mickey James, and now I'm convinced that that's Fallon Henley's role right now.
Wow, that could be huge if true. I mean, yeah, I could
Yes!
definitely see that.
Holy shit, I was actually right. Audrey Marie married Matt Clement, aka Tyler Breeze, in September of 2016. They divorced in 2019.
Okay, that explains it because I didn't think Breeze was okay, but that makes all the sense in the world. Okay,
I was
okay.
wrong about the pregnancy, though. I will say that I was wrong about that.
Then
Um,
I wonder what happened
I
because
don't know. I
that is
don't know
something.
what happened that she got released. They don't have anything on her Wikipedia page about that. Maybe she just fell out of love with it. I don't know, but like they pushed her basically like they were wanting her to be the next Mickey James in FCW. Like she was like top face in FCW, and then I guess a new wave of women came along in NXT, and I guess they just moved on from her. But yeah, dude, Fallon, they're gonna push her to the moon. I really genuinely believe that. Maybe not right now. I think once she gets to the main roster, though, oh my god, the I am when when you hear me say don't trust horse girls, I don't trust horse girls. I know that I'm saying that from a place of like I'm like an exception to the rule. Most people don't think that way. People fucking love horse girls.
Yes, yes, indeed.
People fucking love like cowgirl types. Like I could not tell you how many dudes, like what percentage of the US population wishes that they could find a girl next door cowgirl type that Fallon fills the niche of. And I bet that whatever that percentage is, you could probably double or triple it when you narrow down your scope to just wrestling fans, because wrestling fans are more likely to be white, conservative, et cetera, right? So yeah, dude, she's gonna get fucking Lacey Evans level pushed and probably even further, at least.
That I don't even hate Fallon, but I don't know how I feel about that. But then again, Lacey never won a women's championship, so maybe a Lacey Evans push is good for her because there were so many starts and stops on that. Jesus Christ.
I mean, to be fair though, she would have. She unironically was going to before her first pregnancy.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
That's
shouldn't say
fair. Yeah,
first
yeah.
before the first time that she got pregnant on WWE's watch, basically.
Right. So yeah, I think you pretty much summed up my feelings on this faction. Like, I want to give it a chance. JC's actually grown on me a little bit. I've actually liked her work. Jasmine, I'm undecided on, and
Dude,
Fallon again, I don't
I'm
hate.
telling you right
But
now, Jasmine, if she loves this, because I don't know what's in her heart, I don't know what's in her head, but if she loves this, like if she's passionate about pro wrestling, if she's really like committed to this, there's no ceiling. She's gonna be a fucking star, man. She's gonna be Alexa Bliss but better worker.
you have a really keen eye for this, so I believe you. I'm just gonna say that I believe you. I'm not gonna contest it. I need to see more of her personally to see how I feel,
Do you know how old
and
she
I love
is?
it. I'm guessing she's very young. How old is she?
25.
Okay, not as young as I thought, but still young, especially by WWE standards. So, yeah, good shit. I also want to say, while we're speaking of the women, Foster did bring up a great name. I can't believe that I committed this oversight. I deserve to just, I don't know, not see the light of day for at least a week. I would say, as far as characters in the women's division, Jada is great and she's solid. Ariana may be her steepest competition, though, because Ariana's killing it. Like, I love her every time. She has a direct line to my funny bone. I think she's great. So yeah, I think her and Ariana will keep
Yeah.
carrying the division as far as
It's you know
characters go.
why though? You know why we didn't think of Ariana? It's because it feels like she isn't even cutting wrestling promos. It doesn't feel like she's cutting promos when she does.
No, yeah, she's literally. It's more like she's just doing skits or something, and
Exactly.
like,
It's her
yeah,
her promos feel like sketch comedy more than actual wrestling promos.
and quality and for me to
Dude,
say that when
yeah.
you know how I feel about comedy wrestling,
Yeah.
thank God for Ariana Grace.
Dude, she's so
Um,
good. She's so good.
absolutely. So then we get the Ashante and Cedric stuff, which is great. They also showed Jensen talking to somebody behind a glass door. Very obviously not Briggs, because if it was Briggs, I think they just would have shown it. I don't know who he was talking to, and frankly, I don't care because whatever this faction is, it's already put a bad taste in my mouth. So there you go. And then we get our main event: Joe Hendry and Trigg versus Ethan Page and Sean Spears. Oro attacks Ethan Page. I love this too because I'll tell you what: if Ethan is the champion, I think he's milk toast as shit and he's fucking third rate. Give Oro a title shot for fuck's sake. I don't give a shit. Like anymore, if you put the belt on
Hell
Ethan,
yeah.
why not? Why not? You've got the reason, you've got the motive. You could do it at the Bash fucking sci-fi special. What is that? Next week, even 2 weeks?
No,
Yeah,
it's
just
it's like the first week in August, I want to say.
first week in August, yeah, you do that match there, and then maybe on that same show you do, I don't know, Trick versus fucking Sean Spears versus Joe Hendry. Winner gets a title shot or whatever, because I'm guessing Javon might still be busy with Brooks and his fuck shit, maybe, even though that's a shame. Because I will say this though, was it Sean? It might have been. I think it was Sean. To give Sean credit for this, if you're a Javon Evans fan, he made my eyes light up because he said he wants Javon to be a future challenger for Oba, especially since now we know that Oba most likely isn't just going to go after the NXT championship. Javon versus Oba could cook. And honestly, we saw Oba get gassed against Wes. So I don't even know if they'd want to make it a story where it's like, the longer a match goes, the more it's going to favor the faster guy. Javon could take it that one step further that Wes couldn't, and he could beat Oba. I think that'd be a hell of a story for Javon and put him on the fucking map. So I just want to give Sean his props, so much so that I'm going to formally affix my name to that prediction. I'm going to say that Javon may actually end Oba's title reign, but they got to interact first, and we're still a long ways from that. But just thinking about what they might want to do with Javon in the future, because it seems like he's getting further from the title picture. As far as the tag match itself, I thought it was fine. Joe Hendry gets the winning pin for the team after Ethan again leaves the scene because Oro attacks, and leaving Sean Spears alone, eats a trick shot, eats a standing ovation, 3 count. Crowd was really into Joe Hendry. He might be getting in the NXT title picture because who the fuck isn't now? And poor Trick. The only thing I worry about is Trick seems to have lost some of his momentum. Like, I don't think this really regained some momentum because I feel like in a way he was kind of upstaged by Hendry. And again, I don't mind Joe Hendry, but this should be Trick's show. But then again, I guess if you're really a star, you shouldn't have to fight to keep your star power. So I don't really know how to feel about this. I just kind of feel bad for Trek, I guess is what I'm trying to say. What did you think about this whole main event segment?
Yeah. I, God, it is wild to me that it almost, God, wasn't Joe Hendry just a heel? Like for the 30 man, for the or the 25 man or whatever it was, the battle royal to determine Trick's contender that Javon Evans fucking won, by the way. I feel like that's getting lost in all this, but yeah, wasn't Joe Hendry very blatantly a heel for that?
If he was, crowd reaction wouldn't have told you that. And plus, didn't a
Yeah,
heel eliminate Joe, like Kazarian or something, or maybe even Ethan Page? Like, I
I
feel like
don't.
a heel
There,
eliminated him from the Battle Royal.
I mean, Kazarian did eliminate him, I believe, but I didn't know that he was a heel, honestly.
Kazarian is very much a heel in TNA right now. I could tell you that
Okay.
because when I watched TNA at the very beginning of the year, he turned heel very quickly, and I think he stayed in that heel turn. And another interesting little plot beat just to tie TNA and WWE together. Slammiversary is coming up in a few weeks, and they're doing a 6-man, I think, like elimination match for the Impact World title. I'm not going to list every name in there, but I know Kazarian and Joe Hendry both are in that match. And if TNA is smart, honestly, they may want to pull the trigger on Joe Hendry winning the fucking thing because he
Yeah.
is really, really over right now.
Oh,
But I'm kind of
God.
thinking Moose will just retain. But that's just
Yeah.
kind of a sidebar thing.
It's literally Moose and just five mediocre white dudes.
There you go.
It's
Uh,
Moose, Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin, Nick Nemeth, Frankie Kazarian, and Joe Hendry.
and honestly, again, like even if you want to say mediocre white dudes, I feel like among that pack, Joe Hendry is the standout. So again, if
Yeah,
you're gonna do a title change,
I feel
that's
like
your guy.
honestly, I would say Hendry and like Nemeth, like Dolph Ziggler is one of the best options.
Yeah, that's really fucking sad. Uh,
I
so
would even say
yeah.
like Josh Alexander's up there too. It's like
Oh God.
anyone. I mean, dude, anyone but Macklin. Fuck.
Yeah, when your name is that close to mackerel and like fish, which is rotten when you leave it out too long, yeah, fuck yourself. Uh,
Oh my
So
god.
please continue your thoughts on the NXT main event, though, because I did just want to have a sidebar about TNA to
No,
show how this one might
I'm just
interconnect.
not feeling it at all, man. The NXT main event scene is kind of dead to me while Ethan Page is champion. I'm just waiting for something different to happen there, and as long as that is the case, my attention is elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Are you saying you're not into his ego? I just feel like that's his whole identity. So, I just,
I
but
mean, didn't he literally say like the era of ego has begun or something like that?
yeah, it's everywhere, man.
Or
It's
no, wait, he
everywhere.
said the era. I can't even do it. I can't do the voice. It's the fucking Kermit Frog voice, dude. It's the fucking Kermit voice. I can't even do it.
I love how you can audibly hear
The era of ego has begun. So bad. He's got the fucking
that
Aiden
is the most
English. He's got the
that
Aiden English voice, bro.
that is the most you've popped for his title reign since it started.
You're right.
Uh,
It's the most I've ever popped for Ethan Page. It's so bad.
But I love too how like when I asked you that question and I was being slightly facetious, you could actually audibly hear you getting ready to try and answer the question, but then the silence to be like, what do I even do with this? Which I'm pretty sure is what the universe asked when it made Ethan Page, but it was too late and became all of our problem. So
Paul,
yeah,
Superior Paul in chat, the beginning of the genesis of the era of ego.
he has, and I know this is going to be a weird statement by me, but Ethan Page has entirely too much fucking face going on. Like what is going on there? He is reveling in himself too much. Last I checked, and anybody please correct me when I'm wrong, it happens more often than I care to admit. He wasn't me, so I don't get where he earned the right. Just saying. Just putting that out there. Not trying to beef with anybody. I'm clearly trying to beef with somebody, but I'm innocent, so whatever.
Dude,
Yeah, that's it.
thank you, Paul, for reminding me of that Michael McGillicuddy promo because holy shit, what a disaster.
And yet, unironically, if Curtis Axel were to have a final run and win I was about to call it the TNA title because they're just so bonded together now. The NXT Championship, even though it should still absolutely be Tricks, if you were telling me the option was Curtis and Ethan, I'd be like, well,
Curtis,
if he
easy.
Curtis, 1,000%, yeah. I mean, just for the laugh and the imaginary nipple tear alone, like, yeah, absolutely. Which I think he always synchronized that lap with the tearing of the nipples. So, like,
He
are you
did.
suppressing the pain receptors? Like, what is going on there, my dude? You naughty little freak. So
Oh
that's
my god.
I don't know why I share my
Bro,
opinions. I really, yeah, I'm sorry, but there you go. That that was NXT,
he
and yeah,
said
that's
the word moment 3 times in the same sentence.
I guess he was having a moment.
He said, starting this moment from now, from this moment on, this will be the moment starting now of the genesis of McGillicuddy.
Oh
But I
God, I
said
wanted
it so much faster than he said it. He said it so slow and drawn out because he was trying to think of what to say. It was so bad.
Oh God, I'm sorry, forgive me, but I have to say it. Who is he learning his promo style from? Joe Biden? Jesus Christ,
Oh
that's
my
that's
god.
bad, dude. That's bad. Because to not only repeat the same thing 3 times, but to do it slowly as if gotta think of a word. Moment, that's the word. Gotta think of another word. Moment, that's the word. Man, what a great word. Like, dude, expand your vocabulary. The breadth of your lexicon is embarrassing and pitiful. I own you. I'm literally a better promo than you, and I'm not even employed. Tell me when I lied, people. And no, I'm not saying the CM Punk thing because fuck his old ass too. But yeah, am I lying? No. There we go. So that was the week in the world of wrestling. So did you do? Well, actually, let me check in. God forbid. Did you watch any AEW this week?
No.
Okay, actually, there is one thing we can talk about on AEW that I don't think would kill either one of us.
Mariah.
Mariah fucking betraying Tony
Yeah.
is squared, Tony Storm, even though the S is the last name and not another T, so I don't know how it's squared. Fuck you, Matt sucks. Um, she got betrayed, quote unquote, even though she's had her head up her ass from the very beginning. Mariah beat Willow. Love Willow, no disrespect to her, great stuff. And then when Javaris relayed this to me in the Discord, thank you, Javaris, he's like, oh, Tony was Gushin. And I'm like, wait a tick. That makes it seem like they want Mariah to be the heel. And then Javaris is like, I think they do, brother. To which I replied, ew. And then watching it on TV, I'm just sitting there and I mean, Ashton, look, you've known me a long time, and you know the one thing that I usually am is handsome. But then the second thing beyond that is
True.
right.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Unless it's you're in one of those moods where you're like, I'm never wrong or I'm never right. I mean, you say that a lot about yourself.
that is true. That is true. But then again, what's the excuse I use? I'm complex. Oh yeah, we all know the playbook. Uh,
I lie a lot. That's another good one.
That is also true. God, why do I air my problems so public? Am I really that confident that my charisma will make me coast? And again, I ask, has life proven me wrong? But I'm watching this, and all the while I'm thinking, I really don't see the problem here. And in fact, not only do I not see the problem here, I don't even see two sides to this. I only see the one side, which is the right side, which is the Mariah May side. You know, Tony, if you didn't want this to happen to you, maybe you should have, I don't know, sucked less. Maybe you should have treated Mariah better from the beginning and not treated her worse than an understudy, but an underling. So you got what you deserved. I don't really care that you gooshed. This is probably AEW's best use of color that they've ever done in a long time, at least as long as
Yeah.
I've been not watching. And proud of you, Mariah. Proud of you. Oh, and
Did you see the graphic that Curtis posted like 2.5 hours ago for Dynamite 250? Mariah May speaks in wrestling discussion.
Oh, yes, I did. And can I just say, nice.
Yeah, it's
And all
incredible. I love it.
Also, Mina, baby girl, I gotta tell you, I loved your tweet here where she's
Oh,
like, "No, no, no, I'm so conflicted." No, listen, 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 listen. It's okay. We know what's coming. You and Mariah and Hanako, since you guys are doing that little excursion in AEW, you're gonna run shit, and it's great. And my ship is sailing. There are no holes in it. It's beautiful. The ship has never looked more magnificent. My God, Tony, you're bleeding all over it. Get out of the fucking frame. It's perfect. It's a masterpiece.
huh?
I gotta tell you, folks, I have supported evil for so long in pro wrestling. And I got to tell you, most of the time when I look back, I think, you know, John, maybe you shouldn't have backed that horse. Maybe you were wrong. But I got to tell you, in this moment, I have never felt more right. When I'm seeing Tony bleed everywhere. By the way, when I'm seeing Luther clutching his balls, which for some reason to me was especially delicious.
Dude,
And
I
yeah,
loved that Mariah hit him off the stage and sent him through a fucking table off the stage. That's the kind of female on male violence I can get behind, baby.
absolutely, my
Not
man.
all, not most, not many at all actually, but this one instance fully. Yes.
I mean, this was incredible. I even tweeted at Mariah, listen to me. You're perfect. This was a masterpiece. Take everything from her. Hashtag rose gold forever. And I would just like to say, for the record, that I stand by it. In fact, not only do I stand by it, the only math that I can get behind is I'm doubling down. That means times two. Fucking compute it. So yeah, I'm rooting for Mariah at all in. Tony's reign needs to come to an end. And listen, Antonius, I need to tell you, look, I know you're looking for a ratings bump, which is only your second favorite kind of bump, but don't fuck this up, okay? The well is run dry on Tony. It is Mariah May's time. It is very clear you give Mariah May the title, and then you set up the next big feud, Mariah May versus a returning Jamie Hayter.
Jamie?
That because see that you hear that squeak? You hear that squeak? That is from an intelligent and handsome man. That is your demo. Pander to it. Fuck. Anyway,
No, no,
I
no,
have
no,
given
John. See, that's the problem. Tony would rather pander to the sickos because that's what he is.
well, then he's wrong. And once again, I'm right. I'm again doubling down. I have to share something with the group though, and I'm glad that I abuse this platform for literally everything because American healthcare is a disaster. I need my support group. So I hope Foster's still here, and I especially hope Superior Paul, looking scrumptious, is still here. Because I tried to watch something and I'm not okay. I tried to watch a Will Ospreay promo, and I had posted in the Discord probably one of the meanest things that I'd posted in a while, mainly to the group, and it was a picture of his face. And I said, "Look at that face and tell me there's a God." To which I replied to myself, which I'm amazed is the only that isn't the only conversation I have left. And I said, "You can't checkmate fuckers." And I really held the F in for a long time. Um,
Yeah.
and so I don't know why I go from and Paul immediately comes in with John Honey, why did you do that to yourself? And so I don't know why that took me out. Oh, Sugar Plum, you're perfect. Um, so I don't know why I tried watching this, but I think it's because I also watched and you might all be wondering, John, are you okay? And I'm gonna be blunt. No, no, very
No.
clearly not.
I mean, you've
Uh
subjected yourself to a Will Ospreay promo on purpose. You're clearly not okay.
I also watched an MJF collision promo.
See that?
Which
I'm more open to being able to accept you being okay because you like MJF historically.
Yes, even though he's really kind of waned on me and I think used up the rope, I was curious what his first official heel run, heel kind of promo. I was curious what that was going to be like. And he actually did provide video evidence like, hey, I had a reason. He pulled an Ambrose. I had to turn heel. I had a reason. And he said he felt like the crowd turned on him because they chanted thank you, Joe, even though Joe was the guy that really fucked him up. And then he said, I'm going to take away everything you love and I'm going to fix AEW because you guys have ruined AEW. And to be honest, one of the better promos from him in a while. It still had the same MJF tropes and whatever, and still fuck the guy
Is
for a lot of non kayfabe stuff.
Yeah.
But I like the motivation. Look, if we're keeping
Is
it to
MJF
wrestling,
trying to appeal to us now?
I don't know, but it was somewhat working. And then Osprey on Dynamite because he doesn't come out and confront MJF. Oh no, no, no. Because if you're gonna torture me, you do it on two separate occasions. And I only got
Nice.
through a few minutes of the promo, and at one point, like he pointed out Max's ADD, and because Max brought up that because he said I was vulnerable with you people, and you hurt me, and I told you not to hurt me if I was vulnerable with you and all that stuff. And Osprey said, "Bruv, I've got ADHD, and that doesn't give me the right to be a prick." And like, he's right, and that's a true statement. But I just hate the word "bruv." I think I might hate the word "bruv" almost as much as I hate the word civility, which is really something. Like I hear it, and like
Bro,
honestly, yeah.
avoid all news outlets and social media today because that word is getting thrown around the most.
Oh, I know it, and that's all I'm going to say about it because we talked about that at the beginning. But no, with bruv, like I got to be honest, and I know this doesn't reflect healthily on me. What does anything I say on this podcast reflect healthily on me for? But I hear it, and I'm like, I just got this real strong craving to maul your face and maybe even nibble it a little because why not get a taste for all your
Oh
hard
no,
work?
you don't want to taste Osprey. He's gangly. He's gamey.
No, it's yeah. I mean, I look at that and I'm like, the best move of Davenport's career was dumping your ass. And so yeah, like he's international champion, and I do not trust this man to bring back Pangea. He is not uniting continents. Hell no, unless we're uniting continents and laughing at that face. You're not my Pangea champion. Fuck off. Um, so yeah, those were the things I watched from AEW. Is there anything else from AEW that you would want to talk about that maybe you watched without me knowing? Did you
Can
subject
we
yourself to anything?
before we move on because I feel like you're ready. You're asking me if there's anything else, and which means that you're moving on. I'm not ready to move on from the fact that Osprey said that having ADHD doesn't give him the right to be an asshole. I'd just like to know what does because it hasn't stopped him from being an asshole. He's still a fucking asshole.
Yeah, AEW employs a lot of the pro wrestling as an industry employs a lot of those. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, what are we
So Billy
doing?
Boy, if the ADHD isn't what gave you the right to be an asshole, what did? Because you've clearly gotten the right from somewhere. Otherwise, you're just an asshole for no reason. And then, I mean, then we've got some real talking to do.
You know what? You are so right. And I want to thank my support group of Scrumptious Paul and just fucking adorable Alex just being there for me. And you guys, you're my rocks. And I love you. And I love you too, bud. Thank you for
Are
being there and
are
the
we your
support.
rocks
I
like
mean,
Roxanne rocks?
yeah, there you go. There you
Nice,
go. I mean, I
nice.
like Roxanne, so that works for me. I mean,
I
what a
love that for
triangle
you.
of love and support. And I think,
And your
I think,
face. Don't
yeah,
forget your face.
And you're so right. You're so right. And my face, which I think had a huge part in all of this, mainly the suffering to begin with.
Oh,
But I think we overcame the odds. I really do. I'm proud of us. So yeah, fuck Osprey. Fuck this whole feud. Mariah might just be the best thing. Like, when I go out of my way to watch something that, and oh, I guess one other thing I just want to say as a side note, AEW, I like Brian Danielson. He genuinely has my respect as a wrestler. I do think he should be in that GOAT conversation easily. I don't understand how you have him go over Page after that promo he fucking had. I did not get that, bro. I did not get
dude,
him
I
winning that at
felt
all.
the same, dude. Oh my god, I saw Hangman's promo and I was like, oh, so it's clear he's just winning and then challenging Swerve at Wembley, and then Danielson wins, and I'm like, fucking what? I feel so much whiplash right now. Like, why?
Bro,
are they
I'm
gonna
saying
are
this
they gonna do Danielson at Wembley and then have Swerve retain? And then just do Hangman the week after or 2 weeks after or whatever it is at All Out? Because remember, we've got both of those pay per views.
yeah, bro, I'm just gonna be honest with you. In my opinion, this booking decision perfectly encapsulates everything we hate about AEW and our biggest problem with AEW because, and I'll try and put it to you in a soundbite as best I can. This shows in it on a very quintessential level that they will always value work rate over story. And I'm not even saying, Hangman gets gassed easily.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
obviously has a tank too.
They
But like,
threw
yeah,
they threw away an amazing long term story for the sake of a dream match, basically.
exactly. And that right there is the AEW problem in a nutshell. Because Danielson and Swerve will cook in the ring. Swerve and Hangman would have cooked where it mattered. And it would have
Well,
cooked in the ring. I mean, again,
yeah, and
let's
that's
be
the thing
real.
too is like
Like,
we've
yeah.
seen Swerve and Hangman have great matches. They would have had another great match, but like it would have felt so much more personal because of everything that's been going on, and it would have been interesting. I think that there's like a weird thing going on though, where like I don't know what alignment these people are, and that is another huge problem in AEW is they don't really like to have super clear alignments in a lot of people. Like we still have very blatant heels like Christian, and now MJF once he's back now. Although he's still gonna get fucking cheered in Long Island, so what do you even call that? But like there are, in my opinion, too many gray characters in AEW. I feel like the gray, like sort of like tweener like characters should be something that you have few and far between, and there are just a lot of them. And like Swerve, the world champion right now, is kind of one of them. Like the crowd, I don't really know. I feel like he's meant to be a baby face, but like he that would almost imply that Hangman's a heel, but Hangman's gripes are entirely valid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. When you hear Hangman's promo, like, that's serious shit. Having somebody break into your home and having to relocate, which is a real thing that people have done. Mainly, more marginalized people have to relocate because they get doxxed or swatted or whatever. Or, people do take it that far of an actual physical break in or something. But yeah, I mean, it's a real thing that fucking happens. Swerve did it to him. And the idea that the fans just kind of lap it up. And I mean, hell, I
And
wanted it too. I wanted him to be world champion.
well, yeah,
Paige is right to call us out,
yeah.
100%. Yeah, I
And do
I
you
can't
remember
yeah.
why Hangman did that to Swerve? Or why? I'm sorry, I said the other way around. Do you remember why Swerve broke into Hangman's house? Like why? What quote unquote crime Hangman did to Swerve that Swerve felt justified in breaking into his house?
Didn't he cost him a world title match or something, or an
Yeah,
opportunity to challenge for the world title?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
escalated it to fucking breaking into his house and threatening his family.
I mean, if that doesn't scream terminally online behavior, I don't know, man. So at least Swerve's tapped into the culture of nothing else. I don't know. You cost me this Overwatch matchup, I'm swatting your ass. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Jesus fuck, I hate how accurate that is. God damn.
Dude, right? We know, dude. You and I, we've got it on lock. Because hell, we've been around the culture too. We're not a part of the excess of the culture, but we see it. And yeah, I really like. I shouldn't be surprised, but I really had to make a comment too. I really can't believe AEW again passed on story just for again the work rate fucking dream match. When one, these guys don't even have bad matches, which we can't stress enough, and two, this had fucking teeth. This had fucking gas for days to
And like I
cook.
said, they're
And
probably
yeah.
still gonna do it. They're just gonna do it like 2 weeks later, not in the biggest venue.
Which, like, dude, here's the thing. At that point, it's not that nobody cares, but like, you know what would have made Paige look like an even bigger threat? Beating Brian fucking Danielson for the Owen Hart Cup. So you're pretty much like, because to me, then it comes off as, oh, Paige gets the consolation prize because that dust was, because that beef was settled. Now you can come in like it's a line at the fucking DMV. No, you should have built him up and made him look, because he even said in the promo, I have never been motivated by what's motivating me right now. That should have been it. That should have been the thing that went from draw and loss to Danielson to just finally fucking beating him, right? And like, no, no, we don't do it. Danielson wins again just because, oh, I guess all these personal emotions and the things that should drive pro wrestling as a form of theater don't matter when you're a really, really good wrestler. Come on, AEW, be fucking serious. Because I'll tell you, man, I'll be truthful. If Hangman would have won this, obviously, I don't think we'll ever make AEW content again, at least as far as I'm a fucking sourpuss. And last I checked, I'm probably going to be that until I die. But I probably would have at least jumped in a Discord call with y'all, or at least been in live wrestling discussion while that main event was happening and given my live reactions to it. I would have checked that out because I would have thought, oh, is Hangman going to win? And that reign would have been fascinating to me. You ruined it. You ruined it again, like you ruin everything good. God damn it, AEW. And see, even when Cliff posted that promo, I did the Pikachu face because I'm like, AEW did something good, but I should have known better myself. I should have said, hey, Cliff, don't enjoy it too much because you know they're not going to capitalize on this. And what did they fucking do? You fumbled the bag again, Tony. You fumbled the bag again. Um, yeah, I was the one that was like, let's see how quick we can get out of here. And I'm the one getting all worked up. So is there anything else you want to say about AEW? Or move on to our next segment?
No.
Oh my god, that was adorable. Did you watch any extracurriculars this week?
No.
No, samesies. I wanted to be a part of it. I know my voice wasn't ready because I was too giddy that you did it twice. So let's
I love
let's
it when I pop you like that. That's the best.
let's open the floodgates for questions. Yay, questions. All right, anybody
Caster
has questions about?
Sales, give it to us. Where
Yes.
are you? We know you've been
Yeah,
sitting in the background the whole time.
we know you've been doing.
There he is.
Yes.
Yes.
Man, I haven't seen a better Joe Goldberg since Joe Goldberg. Peeping, creeping, and striking when the time is right. I love it. I love it.
He
Didn't
actually
say
beat
shit
Alex
before this.
Foster. Alex was right there too. Caster said, "Do you think there's a chance of Solo winning the belt, defending against a returning Roman, and that results in a double turn with the Bloodline betraying Solo and Roman becoming champion again?"
No, no, I don't see a double turn. I think that's making it way too convoluted. I do see Solo. Actually, to be honest, I'm even wondering if Solo wins the title. And I only say that because of the segment that Randy Orton and Cody had backstage, where it's like, when this bloodline beef settles, you're gonna have a lot of people coming out of the title. I wonder if like this is I don't want to use the wrong word, but I want to say if this is the crescendo as far as Bloodline being entangled with the championship, at least for now until Mania. And like maybe Roman even costs Solo. So then we get Solo and Roman and the whole Bloodline thing, but the title isn't a casualty in that. And then Cody can have separate feuds. That's honestly what I'm starting to believe since that Randy and Cody backstage segment on Friday. What do you think, bro?
I don't think that we're gonna get a double turn or anything like that, but I've seen something recently where it makes me kind of feel like maybe Jacob specifically will join Roman, and we get kind of like that turn, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. That would be interesting if Jacob defects because I feel like Roman already wins the war then because Jacob's a fucking beast.
Yeah, it kind of
So
sets up
yeah.
the possibility of like a 3v3 war where we get Solo and the Tongans versus Roman, Jacob, and Jimmy.
Okay, okay, that would be really fucking fascinating. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Yeah. All right, Castor, good question. Foster, thoughts on Tatum and Izzy Dame's story? I'm intrigued, Foster. I really don't have any substantive opinions as of yet, though. I'm just glad that Tatum is still on TV. What do you think, Ash? Do
I
you have any
love it.
opinions?
I'm loving it, man. I was actually really surprised and actually kind of disappointed that Izzy lost this week. I think she lost to Thea Hale, right?
She did. She did lose to Thea Hale because I
Yeah,
think they're building her
man.
up for Roxanne,
I
unfortunately.
think you might be right about that. And like that's I don't even mind the idea that they're building Thea up for Roxanne if that's true. But man, I like Izzy a lot and I didn't want to see her lose here. I feel like they could really build her up into something special. We were talking earlier about how like I see Jasmine Nix as somebody that could have a really like virtually no ceiling because she just has so much upside. And I said she could be like Alexa Bliss but better in the ring, and I genuinely do believe that. I think she's got that kind of upside. Just as far as like star power goes, but like I feel like Izzy Dame is kind of along those like I feel like Izzy Dame. Yeah, I even literally said this week Izzy Dame reminds me of pre-goth Rhea Ripley, straight up.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. Yeah, I actually, the more I dwell on that, the more I think you're onto something. Again, I don't have any opinions as of yet. I do like both women though, so I mean, chances are I'm going to be favorable to this. So there you go.
And speaking of
I
goths,
yeah,
I fucking love Tatum Paxley. Everything she does, like she is like, she's in a place to me right now where everything she touches turns to gold. She can do no wrong for me.
I honestly think same. Again, when you have all this quote unquote lineage of crazy characters, I'm glad that Tatum really broke the mold. She doesn't feel like Alexa. She doesn't feel like Nikki Cross. She feels like her own unique self. She
She feels
feels like
like
a
something
unique
you'd see
entity.
in TNA, honestly. Like
Yes.
we literally
Yeah.
have seen her in TNA. She challenged Jordan for a title on their last pay-per-view. But dude, did you see the backstage? Like, I don't know if it was like an NXT anonymous thing. But did you see the backstage shot of her talking to the doll,
I think I did see something about that.
where she
Yeah.
talks about how like
Yeah.
girls like Izzy Dane never want to be friends with girls like me?
Oh, you think we might get a tag team? But oh no, wait. But then didn't Wendy Chu pick up the doll? Because isn't Wendy
Yes,
Chu going to be a part of this?
I can't wait.
Oh
I
man.
love Wendy Chu,
So
man. She's fucking great.
So wait, rather than Izzy and Tatum being friends, which honestly melted my heart for a split second, are Tatum and Wendy gonna be friends? That's terrifying in the best way, man.
That would be incredible. I would love that so much.
Well, they're two great talents. I would love it. And they kind of protect each other. They give each other job security because
I'm
it's an
starting
angle for
to
both of them.
wonder if
Hell yeah.
because Alba and Isla got called up as NXT Women's Tag Team Champions and then those titles just got merged into the main roster tag titles, I'm starting to wonder if NXT is going to introduce a new pair of NXT Tag Team Women's Championships. Because we've got so many active women's tag teams right now, like Jakara and Lash. You've got JC and Jasmine. Right here, this could be a potential pairing. There's definitely more that I'm just not thinking of right now. So I'm just mind blanking. But I feel like there's so many going on right now. It's crazy.
I'd love if they did like a strange bedfellows thing and they put Jada and Meechin together, just trying to resolve their differences.
I
Like,
mean,
here, go
dude,
have a tag
that
belt
would
or
be
something.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm telling you that there is so much good in NXT. I'm just not liking some of the decisions I'm seeing, and I'm hoping that's not a harbinger of things to come. But Tatum and Izzy are definitely two positives for fucking sure. Um,
Tatum
keeping
and Wendy.
well, yeah, Tatum, Izzy, and Wendy, because I think I said Tatum and Izzy, and I stand by that. But Tatum, Izzy, and Wendy are
Right.
all great, all
Oh,
great.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, no, but you were right too. I'm glad that you brought up Wendy again because she's fantastic. But keeping it on women's wrestling, we get to Paul's question. I love how he phrased this. So this Stephanie Vaquer, she any good? I think she's okay. I
She's
really
all
don't have
right.
any strong opinions on her.
Thing
Yeah,
is,
like
like,
she's
I
all
will
right.
say this though. I feel like she's the exact type of wrestler who doesn't impress me on the indies because she's already working a WWE style on the indies, and then she goes to WWE and kills it.
I thought you might have that opinion, and I'm inclined to agree because just based on what I can remember from the match with Mayu, she really does seem fit for the WWE scheme.
Yeah.
And so hell, we keep talking about all the championships that NXT has. When Julia shows up, it's game over for everybody. But that's why we have a women's North American championship. Vaquera could be a prominent North American champion. Who fucking knows, dude? Really,
I mean,
like
dude,
it's all for grabs.
I'm sorry, who beat Julia for the New Japan Strong Women's title again?
That was Vaquera, you're right. Yeah, there you go.
I'm just
There, I
saying,
mean,
maybe a
yeah.
year and a half from now, maybe we can get a repeat of that.
We could. We very well could, dude. And commentary this day and age, they don't act like WWE's in a bubble away from everything else. They would readily acknowledge that she beat Julia before, probably.
Yes, they
I,
would.
I, I could absolutely believe that.
Yup.
So you already have a long form story kind of built in,
Yup.
and yeah, there you go. Yeah, I like where your head's at, man. I really do. So Super Blue. Why did Nick lie to Ashanti about giving him opportunities? I don't know, Super Blue, and it'll always disappoint me because I like Nick Aldis, but there you go. He's on
That's
NXT
so
now.
true. He really did. He really told him to his face that we were going to find something for you to do, and then just nothing. Fuck.
Yeah, we found something for you to do. Staying in the back.
Yeah,
Fuck,
we found something for you to do on another brand.
fuck.
Fuck.
And you popped yourself, which popped me. Fuck.
Fuck.
God. God, you have
Fuck.
that laugh where you're like such a fucking sweetheart, but it's the laugh of a perfect douche. How are you such a contradiction? I don't understand. God damn it. fuck. I love it, but it's so
It's because I
confusing.
have 25 years of experience being a douchebag, and it's just in the last like 8 or 9 that I've tried to be a really good person.
Acton's like, no, no, John, we're retiring it, and I'm going to reform. And I'm just like, why? so, so yeah, let's move on to Amari. Oh, okay, they did some fantasy booking here.
You said
Okay,
Amari?
yeah, Amari 316. Because they
Oh,
did some, yeah,
oh, I
yeah.
didn't even realize they were in chat. Hey, Amari, how's it going?
Yeah, yeah. So they did some fantasy booking and they wanted our thoughts. So let me set the whole table here. I feel like after Roman versus Solo at WrestleMania, okay, bold to think that that's going to happen that late. I feel like Roman's going to be doing something else. I don't know what though. Jacob Fatu turns on Solo Sikoa and creates Bloodline 3.0. Then we have Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu and next year's. Oh, okay. That then could lead to a possible three-way War Games in next year's Survivor Series. How do y'all feel about that idea that I just pitched? Relax. That's my immediate reaction. Like, I understand that there are many blood types, but that doesn't need to mean like three
You know what though,
bloodlines.
John?
Okay.
You know what though, John? Listen, listen. If after WrestleMania, somebody in our comments would have been like, I feel like we're not going to see Roman again for another like 4 or 5 months, and I feel like Solo is going to take over the bloodline, and he is going to bring in Tama Tonga and Tongaloa and Jacob Fatu, and eventually he's going to claim that he's the new tribal chief, and he's going to tell everyone to acknowledge him, and that's going to upset Paul Heyman, and they're going to beat the fuck out of him, and not only that, but they're going to powerbomb him through a fucking table, and then he's going to go after Cody Rhodes and try and win the title. We'd have the same reaction that we just had to that.
Look, I would have laughed at that person in private, mainly so that when I was wrong, it wouldn't have hurt so bad. But, you know, I mean, what are you going to call Jacob Fatu's bloodline? Bloodline O negative? Like, what are we doing here? Okay. Like, let's just all relax. Let's all relax. And I understand, Amari, that this is probably going to age very poorly for me. So just sit back and just sow the seeds of my destruction. And you don't even have to do the sowing. I'm doing that for you. That's how efficient I am. But it just in all sincerity, you can't blame me for thinking that that is a lot going on, my dude. But I
Is
appreciate your imagination because holy shit.
I don't think Jacob has leadership ambitions though, honestly. I think he just wants to kind of destroy everyone.
I mean, honestly, because we just got done watching that WCW doc, that feels like a Hail Mary in the late Nitro era to pop ratings. We need another bloodline.
We
And we
need
need
another NWO. NWO Blue, everyone.
and we need to cram them all in this cage. And we need everything to happen. And we need turns within turns. And we need people to start the match as a heel, then turn midway to babyface, and then go back to being a heel at the end. Do all the fucking things.
That sounds like something Cody Rhodes would unironically do though.
It's because he's controlled by the neck tattoo. It's sentient and it's eating him. Pay attention. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, and we still have questions. Fuck, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. Um, Caster Sales with a beautiful question. Would you say that? Okay, you need to pull it together because that's popping me right now. Caster Sales, Caster Sales. Would you say that Jacob Fatu is the modern day King Haku? I can honestly see it. I think King Haku is a bit more like put
Dude.
together and dignified, but like in terms of the badassery, yes.
I
Yes,
want
I could
I
see it.
want Jacob Fatu to win King of the Ring now.
He should. I mean, he should. You're just right. Yeah.
2025.
Yeah.
2025 Jacob Fatu, King Fatu. It even rhymes with King Haku. Holy shit.
Yeah, and he could just look at Solo and be like, "Look at that! I just reached the fucking pinnacle, and I didn't have to thumb a single throat. Eat my ass!" And then
He was too
like,
busy literally making people eat his ass in corners and turnbuckles.
yeah, Jimmy's still tasting it. You fucking worthless ass twin. I was gonna say something. I don't know. I just kind of landed on that. Fuck you, Jimmy. You take
Bro,
your time.
all the only thing Jimmy ate was steel chair, bro.
Yeah, but remember though, it was the hip attack with the chair wrapped around his neck.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah,
yeah,
because the steel chair was on his face.
some ass probably got in there, like 0.2% ass, which smacked his lips and was like,
The,
"Oh, what's that?
the
What's that
scatter
going on?"
shot. Oh my god, the mouth noises. Fuck.
People were actually on Twitter being like, "Why didn't Jimmy Uso make the save?" And I'm just thinking, like, yeah, because when I think difference maker, I think Jimmy fucking Uso.
He's a
Yeah,
game changer.
yeah, yeah. Jimmy, let me run out after Jay, who feigned calling me back just to super kick me in the face, Uso. Jimmy, my only claim to fame is exiting a womb 2 seconds earlier than my twin, Uso. Yeah, that's the guy that's gonna make Jacob Fatu trouble. Be fucking serious, okay? Like, no, just no. God damn. Thank God at least somebody in that family, and I'm looking at you, Naomi, is holding down the fort because she actually beat Blair Davenport this week. That's what actually winning looks like, Jimmy. Maybe do it sometime or don't, because to be honest, I don't really care which. Um, so Jesus Christ, I'm unhinged. Okay, we have to focus here. Super Blue, shouldn't God go out of the tag titles? Super Blue, let me okay. I don't know
Can I
why you do this.
go?
Yeah, actually, you go on this one.
Bro,
You go on.
WWE is doing everything in their power to not let Tongaloa wrestle. I'm just
There
gonna
you go.
say it. They really are. They saw the Tongaloa Okada match from last year's G1 and they were just like, okay, we're gonna hire him because he's in the family and the credentials are there, but this dude is never wrestling under our watch.
First of all, this moderately well-adjusted man is 1000% right. And second of all, because I'm way too far gone and I can't be stopped, I don't understand how you can hear the idea that I had literally like an hour and a half ago about Jacob Fatu just winning the titles and defending them by himself, and then really think to yourself, you know what the brave choice is? Saying no to this. And like, no, I don't want God as tag champions. I want Jacob Fatu, singular, as tag team champion because I'm already
Oh,
above any partner I could have.
like Team Hell No when they were yelling at each other, I am the tag team champions. No, I am the tag team champions. And Jacob Fatu just steps up. Sorry, boys, but I am the tag team champions. And they're just like, fuck, he's right. God damn it.
That's right. That's right. Because his facts didn't care about their feelings. I want him to dominate everyone. And so yeah, Super Blue, shouldn't God go out of that when they used to be cool? Yeah. But they're not cool now. One literally had a fucking Maven phase. You think I want that in the fucking tag titles? We already have
See,
Dweebs
here's
with
the
the
secret,
worst
John.
theme
He
song.
never
Yeah.
lost the Maven face. He just found a way to hide it with facial hair.
Son of a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, we already have dweebs as tag team champions. They're called Frazier and Axiom. You can watch them every Tuesday night. I want a fucking
Oh.
beast. I want a fucking carnivore as tag team champions, and that's
Ooh.
Jacob Fatu, baby. That's
Fuck a
yeah.
werewolf. He's the Samoan T Rex.
I love when you say things that are correct. Fuck. Anyway, uh God damn it. Okay. Um, Foster, I still want Lyra and Tatum to have an endless rivalry. For the most part, they fight, but every now and then they team up. Yes, Foster, because
Yeah.
I love them, and technically they're wrestling soulmates. They just don't know it yet. And by they, I mean Lyra, because I think Tatum still knows she's had to do what hurt for the relationship for the greater good. So Foster, thoughts on the rumors of Motor City Machine Guns headed to WWE? Just rumors at this point. Foster, I love that there are people sticking around in the business long enough that they're like, I can finally get that WWE bag. And honestly, as a guy that
Dude,
was like,
it's
yeah,
like an even more extreme version of AJ Styles because AJ Styles waited until 2016 to do it, and he was still like 30, what, 38, 39 ish. But Motor
yeah,
City
yeah,
Machine Guns literally were loyal to TNA and New Japan into their 40s before they finally decided to get that bag, bro.
dude, it's insane. And as
Do you
somebody that
realize
was,
how
yeah,
much MCMG would have thrived in NXT like 8 years ago? Holy fuck.
bro, if the Motor City Machine Guns that I was an uber fucking mark for as a child were in a promotion like NXT or in a brand like NXT, because obviously the promotion's WWE,
Yeah.
I would have lost my goddamn mind
Dude,
because those Motor City Machine Guns versus MSK. Oh my god, bro, Jesus fucking, that feeds families. Um,
dude,
yeah,
MSK was like 5 years ago. I mean, like 8 years ago,
yeah.
like American Alpha DIY era, revival era type shit.
Oh my! I mean, still, again, the forget feeding families. You're feeding whole continents at that point. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean, bro,
Uh,
here's the thing. Chris Sabin is the superior talent, and they already had Alex Shelley in NXT for fucking time splitters shit.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And now you're getting the genuine fucking article on Motor City Machine Guns
Yeah,
potentially.
yeah.
Even though it's really late to the party, I think I'll still pop for it when I see them. I always love Motor City Machine Guns. I don't think I ever stopped loving them. The thing is, I just stopped kind of watching them just because they were on brands that like I really didn't have the interest to follow, much like AEW. But you get them together, I'll watch, I'll enjoy it. So yeah, I'm all for it, Alex, for sure. Um, okay. Oh, Paul. Okay. Who should Julia feud with first? I mean, I just thought she was going to feud with Roxanne out the gate, but if they
I
want to
mean,
build her up,
if Roxanne is no longer champion, then I would still just say whoever the NXT champion is at that time when she shows up.
yeah. I mean, and you know what? To be fair to Paul, though,
The
not even
NXT
Kana feud.
women's champion, I have to specify. Go ahead, John.
Yes, but to be fair to Paul, though, and you are right. Uh, Kana didn't feud with the women's champion when she first came in. She feuded with Emma and Dana. So if you want an introductory feud for Julia, if Roxanne isn't champion, I still say Roxanne because she might feel like, Julia is a line crosser. Like, that's my territory. What are you doing? You literally just got here. And if not Roxanne, who's a good worker that's also, honestly, dude, it would be a major test for her, I think, but maybe Jada. Fuck. I mean, Jada already doesn't like outsiders, right? She already
No.
feels like Misha doesn't belong in
I
NXT,
mean, yeah,
you
you're
know?
right, but like, I don't
I mean, the
know.
power disparity is insane.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why I'm like, I don't know. It's funny you brought her up because I was even thinking Michin maybe.
maybe, but like, because it'd be interesting if they turned heel and OTM had kind of a face run, but that's a separate matter. Yeah,
They're already,
because here's
dude, the OC, fuck them. They're already heels.
yeah, I mean, true. But here's why I'm struggling to think of names, right? Because if we're doing the Asuka parallel, which is not even just us, like internal reports are coming out that like, yeah, they want her to be Asuka. Why Emma was such a perfect for feud? We know what a great worker Emma was. You and I
Yeah.
were huge Emma fans back in the day. I think if she showed up on TV now, we'd still be huge fans of hers.
Yes.
And so like she was a great pick, just a great fucking pick. Julia needs somebody that's like a mid Carter esque, but is a great fucking worker. And
Dude,
I don't really know
fuck.
who fits that
Do
bill.
you know who would kill me inside?
Who?
Natalia.
Oh, fuck, dude. Why? We were having a nice
I'm
time.
sorry. I'm sorry. They just
He really is.
re-signed her. What if they just re-signed her because of the Julia stuff? What if like Julia couldn't show up for a heat wave match, just got cleared. They don't know when they're gonna bring her back, so now they have to like recoup and figure out what they're gonna do with her. So they're like, you know what? Fuck, we gotta figure out who we're gonna feud with her first. Fuck, I guess just re-sign Natalia so we have a steady hand. God damn it.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Dude, I
Um,
I have the perfect name, and this brings back to what I was saying earlier. JC Jane, perfect.
you know what? Yeah. Yeah, she's the one. Because I would still say that Emma is a far better in-ring worker, but JC honestly isn't bad, and she's got the promo chops as a heel that are solid enough to do that for introductory program.
She can carry the program on the mic, and then get her ass beat like a pro in the ring.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Dude, perfect answer. I think we can move on. I don't want to dwell on that point.
Yeah.
Amari, I think this is a question, so I'm just gonna read it just in case.
Shit, dude, you
Not
could
going.
even have Julia feud with that entire group. You could have
Yeah.
Julia feud with that entire group. You could have her just destroy Jasmine. You could have her maybe struggle a little bit more with Fallon, and then you could have the big pay per view match be with JC one on one.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, you know what, Amari? I feel like your second question was a more genuine question for us than the first one. So I'm actually just gonna skip ahead to that. He said, I want y'all thoughts on this. Which storyline is better in y'all's opinion, Bloodline or NWO? I really wasn't around for NWO at its peak or anything, so automatically I'm gonna say Bloodline because I've been there from the beginning for it. And
Well,
honestly, I would still say Bloodline, knowing how the NWO storyline ended, with just everybody kind of getting
yeah.
a t-shirt.
I was going to
Like,
say, here's the thing. We know that Bloodline started not quite 4 years ago. Like the Bloodline began around like September, October ish of 2020, right? Like we know that.
yes,
So it's been around now for not quite 4 years, right?
yes,
And I know that there are people who are sick of it. I'm not going to pretend that there aren't. But I don't think that the Bloodline as a storyline has gotten to a point of like ridiculous or excess. And I think that most people would agree with that. Not all, but most. The NWO started in '96, bro.
yeah,
4 years into the NWO, there was already the Wolf Pack. They were already handing out shirts to everybody. It was run its course by 3.5 years, 3 years in, maybe even. Yeah, like I think the Bloodline has definitely done better, at least in terms of longevity. I think the NWO did much, much, much better in terms of interest. it's a matter. It's like fucking OJ Simpson versus Frank Gore. It's a matter of like one guy was absolutely legendary for a few years and then, stopped doing their thing. The other guy was really, really good for like 2 decades. You know what I mean? It's like longevity versus impact because NWO literally caused WCW to start beating WWF and carried them in the ratings for a year and a half.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
bloodline has improved ratings. The WWE's ratings and especially specifically SmackDown's ratings have improved, but like it's been marginal. It's been like a few percentage points every year that it's been a thing. So in terms
Yes.
of pure impact, NWO by miles. But like the bloodline is sustainable. The bloodline is sustaining over a much longer period of time because here's the thing. The bloodline is at the point now that NWO had already run its course and was already old and overplayed. And the bloodline is still chugging, going strong. And the bloodline it doesn't look like there's an end in sight for the bloodline.
I think that was a magnificent articulation of the differences. I'm not going to add anything to that. You did an impeccable job. So let's move on to our next question, which I'm trying to figure out. Okay. I'm going to say Super Blue had back to back comment questions. Man, we had a really active week this week, and I thought this
Did
week was kind
we?
of a dud.
We didn't skip over anything, did we?
I mean, Amari did ask this one that was like another fantasy booking one. I admittedly skipped that one because he was like, not going to
Basically,
lie,
like
wouldn't it be
Black
cool?
Bloodline.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, but like, I don't really feel like it's like my place to comment on that. I don't really know how you would do that. And so I just wanted to kind of, skirt past that.
It's
But
also kind of interesting because, like, I shouldn't say interesting, really, because what it really is fucking tragic. There aren't really any black legacy wrestling families at all.
yeah, that's a great point, actually.
There's
Yeah.
nothing like the bloodline among black family. Like there isn't one. They're just like literally you can name every single black you could literally make a list of every single black wrestler in the history of pro wrestling and there are so few multi-generational black families in pro wrestling. I honestly couldn't name one. Like the one and only that comes to my mind is literally also Samoan because it's Soul Man Rocky Johnson and The Rock. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even then, like
Um,
The Rock is literally doing the bloodline.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you know what? I think, yeah, I could say that you really engaged Amori's question. And yeah, I guess it would be a cool thing. It's just tragic that the reality is that there aren't any like families like that that are black in the pro wrestling business.
Yeah,
Um,
it's really sad.
yeah, yeah,
We need
absolutely.
what we really need to do is we need to start featuring and really I say we I have no fucking control over it, but what wrestling promoters and bookers and writers really need to do is start more prominently featuring their black talent so that 20, 30, 40 years from now they can do a black bloodline angle because there are second and third generation black athletes that can tell that story because right now there aren't.
Yeah, yeah, I think that again, that was very well said. Let's move on to Super Blue. After walking into the trap that was Heat Wave, will you be willingly watching any more NXT pay-per-views as long as Ethan is champion? I mean, I'm sure because we shouldn't
Yeah,
hold it against the whole
Oba.
roster. But yeah, like Oba alone, I know we'll want to keep checking
We'll
out his
probably
stuff.
just be doing more like selective match stuff rather than the whole show.
Exactly. And I know as long as Ethan's champion, we probably won't want to watch an NXT title match unless we're confident that the person he's facing can win the title and we like that person, i.e., Trick. If Trick was to get a rematch and we're like, Trick's probably winning, or if they would actually pull the trigger on Oro, like, yeah, we want to be there for that. Super Blue followed up with, shouldn't Tony be the heel and not May? That's what I thought, Super Blue. But and she'll be the baby face at all in because it'll be in May's home turf. But
Well,
I think long
yeah,
term, yeah.
that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Is like Mariah May is British. Tony Storm is Australian.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I will say
Um,
Tony Storm, I think wasn't Tony Storm like raised in London or something? No, maybe not. I don't know. Regardless, Tony is Australian as fuck. Mariah is British. So I'm assuming that Wembley is going to want to root for Mariah, which makes it make that much less sense that they had Mariah turn in such a way that makes her come off like the heel.
Yeah, but then again, remember AEW apparently doesn't care about heels and faces because they don't matter in 2024.
Dude,
Whatever.
see, yeah, that's the thing that fucks my shit up. They have so many great characters that they're just gonna do the same shit with this, and when Mariah gets cheered, they're gonna act like it's like a good thing, like, oh yeah, yeah, that's the crowd expressing their feelings. At the end of the day, in my mind, that's a failure because you clearly wanted her to be the bad guy in this, even if you don't want to admit to it, and she's getting cheered, so you fucked up. Like this is it comes back to Tony Khan not understanding the core fundamentals of pro wrestling
No, no,
and storytelling, especially.
he's just a guy with a glorified action figure set, and he's just
Yep.
playing out all of his dream matches and dream angles and doing what he wants. I mean, you said it perfectly last week. He is Vince McMahon. He's not putting on a show for fans. He's putting on a show for himself, and that's why, like that right there. I'm so glad I remembered that you even said that last week because that's why we're getting Danielson versus Swerve and not Swerve versus Hangman because I feel like the fans want Swerve versus Hangman. Not that we've turned on Danielson or anything, but again, the story is fucking there. And Tony's like, no, no, I want these two to clash. Meow, meow, fuck you. So with that, let's continue. Super Blue again. Should WWE replace the Money in the Bank match with the Money in the Bank Tower
I
match?
would love that. I loved that
I
tower match.
I wouldn't be opposed. It seems safer because you're actually working National Max for far less time and more of it was cinematic, which probably led to a lot less
Yes.
injuries. Like, that is one thing I'm kind of surprised by the Triple H era. You'd think you'd be doing more cinematic based matches just so that wrestlers wouldn't be using up their bump cards so quickly. But he's kind of strayed away from that, and it surprises me. But
That's another attitude era thing, man. Another vestige of the attitude era is like, fuck your bump card. Go fly through this fucking burning table.
exactly. But I also believe that things do circle back around, and I don't think we've seen the last of matches like this. And yeah, Super Blue, if you ever wanted me to be amenable to that change, it was after this year's Money in the Bank because some of those spots are so fucking terrifying. I'm like, I love the concept of the briefcase. We can keep the concept and take away a lot of the risk. And I think your idea does it, honestly. So
I think,
yeah, I'm on board.
yeah. I think I already said, like, I wish it wasn't a ladder match. I wish it was just like a however many people elimination match where the last
Yeah,
person who is like left wins and gets the briefcase. I
yeah,
like that idea a lot more because I just am not a fan of ladder matches. Um, but the tower match was so good, and that's another way to keep the workers safe under the guise of a quote unquote ladder match, quote unquote, right? But like
yeah.
it's a ladder match where everything is even more worked than usual. You're not in front of a live crowd. That's probably the reason they won't do it though, is because it's not in front of a live crowd. The reason they could get away with it the 1 year is because there were no live crowds.
Exactly. Yeah, true, true. Uh, so yeah, God, I don't know. I have a lot of like disparate thoughts, but I'll save them for another day. Um,
Are they
let's see.
related? Because if they're related, there's no reason to save
I
them.
mean, kind of, because I'm just thinking like it would just be amazing if like more arenas were like movie theaters in a way, where like you could almost enjoy the cinematic experience. So even though it's not happening like live in front of you, you're still getting the atmosphere and the ambience of that like really enriches it anyway. Like
Yeah.
imagine a Money in the Bank Tower match in IMAX, Like I don't know. I just feel like there's got to be a way around that, but I don't know. We already have enough problems with infrastructure as it is, and nobody's doing anything cool, and we have a lot of
Money in
potholes
the
and
Bank
plot vintages.
Tower in
Yeah.
VR.
Yeah, 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 pretty much. Um, Foster, I'm gonna say that this will probably be the last question. I haven't even seen any new ones submitted, but it is getting close to like quarter of one, and I'm really like I want to
We've been
skip to
here
that
for
last
two
one and get in.
hours.
I only wanted us here for 1 hour, and I take a lot of responsibility. I know this is my fault, but like, yeah, I'm putting an end to this. I'm stopping it. Uh, will Ren eventually join NQCC? I
I
kind of got
hope
that
so.
impression, Foster. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, because Charlie's crazy. So Charlie's like,
He
how do we keep it?
is, dude. I love the way they've written his character lately in just the sense that he is unhinged.
Night Superior Paul, love you. Um, but yeah, he is unhinged. Like I could just see him having a meeting with Tavion and Miles and saying, like, well, we know Ren saw us. And then I don't know, Tavion could be like, well, do we take care of her like we did Damon? And then Charlie just looks at him like he's crazy, like, what? No, Damon was a problem. This can be massaged to our favor. Go bring her to me. We're gonna offer her a membership. What do you think, Miles? I said, "What do you think, Miles? Huh? Oh, yeah, that sounds great." Oh man, yeah, I'm really liking Charlie's brand of humor because he's not a carbon copy of his dad, but it's still got a direct line to my funny bone.
It's so
He's yeah,
different. It's honestly, it's weird. No quarter catch crew are unlike anything else, at least on wrestling television today, if not ever.
bro. You know what I love about them? While we're kind of having a mini gush session here, like especially in this day and age in pro wrestling, it could have been so fucking easy for them to just be a pack of dweebs that are all about that work rate. But like there's charisma there. Like, it's not just a band of Dean Malenkos, right? Like, there's genuine humor here and charisma, and I love that because that makes me appreciate the in-ring all the more when I know that these guys have genuine personalities behind them. That's also why Imperium works because Gunther's an absolute unit. And so when he talks about the mat is sacred and this and that, he's not a dweeb. He's not like some wrestling historian that it's all about those real grasps. He's like a fucking hoss, and he's funny too. Like he's got an underrated sense of humor as a heel. We've seen how cutting he can be on the mic. Like if you can be a great worker and talk, like marry me, homie. Fucking marry. I'm right here, right? Like hit. Let me hit. Fuck. But if you're only gonna focus on the one, you look like a dweeb. And I don't know. That does much like Gallus does nothing for my phallus. And I just it's not there for me, you know? So good on no quarter catch crew. Charlie, you're making your dad proud and you're making all of us proud because you're doing great stuff. I was worried about this group for a minute. I'm like, oh man, is it just going to be really stiff upper lip wrestlers? Pretty much like an Imperium Light with even less charisma. And I am so happy to be fucking wrong. These guys are hilarious. And if Ren joins the group, she better not drag it down because honestly, at this point, that's a hot ticket item getting to be a part of No Quarter Catch Crew. You get TV time and you get to be a part of a funny thing like with actual charisma. Don't screw this up, Ren. All right. Let us move on to our final segment, Abel's favorite segment. Love you, Abel, so much. High spots and low shots. Um, you know what, bro? Because this week goes from July 7th to July 13th, I'm just going to say that gives us a lot of options. It's been a very interesting week in the world of wrestling, especially beyond WWE. I will say that
Yeah.
my low shot is Dominic Mysterio
That is
because
a very effective low shot. You're so right.
Because while you beat your father for the first time in your career, which took you long enough, you're literally taller than him. What the fuck were you doing? Um, your mommy returned and she was very upset with you. And
So
I
he
yeah,
beat his poppy, but now he's about to get beat by his mommy.
not only can you stay, I declare to everyone that I love you and you're perfect.
Oh,
So with with that, who is your low shot?
oh, my face. Fuck. Low shot. DIY. They got their shit pushed in by Jacob Fatu.
You know, they had it coming. I'm just yeah, you
Hey, bitches, why don't you figure out how to get out of this one? Oh, I don't know. Maybe do it yourselves.
Bro, the way you said, "Hey, bitches," to start that, I've never wanted to see you in a real life confrontation where you open it that way in my life. I wanna see in over his head Ashton, but not even like just doubling down. That is my new dream in life. Holy shit. Oh my god. Um, high spot.
Ugh.
First of all, honorary high spot. Io won at Summer Destiny against Utami. Great freaking
Oh,
match,
you
and
know
she won
what?
on Raw.
Honorary low shot Bozilla
Yeah, really. Oh my god. But yeah,
went into that white belt match, that United National title match with completely fresh, with all of the odds stacked in her favor, facing Miku Aono, who had just gone through a 24-minute war with Mirai and still took the L. Oof.
yeah. And honestly, EO also works because her and Damage Control did win on Monday, even though they got jumped by the new faction,
Yep.
Zoe, Shayna, and
Sonya.
Sonya. Thank you. I blanked there for a second.
I don't blame you.
So
She's not very memorable.
damn. Um, But yes, my actual high spot is Miku Aono.
Nice.
First ever United National Champion, won 2 matches back to back. And honestly, I truly believe she's one of the best workers in that company. I am so happy that she's the first ever United National Champion. I think that's the right call. I think if Gold wants its match of the year machine, Miku might be it low key. because she really cooked with Mirai, and I thought the match with Bozilla was pretty great too. And hey, Bozilla was no slouch. 20 years old and already that good. That is horrifying. I don't know what they're feeding that woman, but I'm not going to tell them to stop, mainly because I am a very skinny man. I am practically a stick. I have gone on record and I have said my legs are a half empty toothpaste. So literally, all Bozilla has to do is flex her pinky, and I am suffering from a medical condition known as torn torso. So yeah, you do you. You keep thriving. I'm just happy that Miku prevailed, and I'm very excited for her title reign. So she is my high spot officially. Who is your, if you have an honorary high spot, who is that? And then who is your actual high spot?
Honorary high spot, Sari,
Yes.
for
First ever
winning.
Monaco World Champion.
Exactly. Actual high spot though. I think I've got to give it to Mariah May.
Yeah, I love that, dude.
She
I love
won.
that.
It's a few reasons actually. She won the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, which is a huge accomplishment in and of itself. She did so in the main event of Dynamite, which women do not main event Dynamite very often at all. It's happened probably so few times that you could probably count it on your hands, if not your hands and toes. Um, and then she proceeded to betray Tony Storm, turn on her iconic imagery all over the place, and to add on top of all of that, I have seen several people outside of our circle saying that they want for Mariah and Tony to main event Wembley over the world title.
And to be honest, given what they chose, if it was Hangman Swerve, I'd be like, no, it shouldn't. And I would mean that. Given that you chose Danielson Swerve, yeah, you can consider me part of that campaign.
Yeah,
Because Tony, yeah, like, give me a story-driven main event, please, God. Yeah, that's the challenge. Tony, give me a story-driven main event in your company challenge. There you go. And it just he still hasn't won
difficulty
it.
impossible.
Dude, I know. This is why your face needs to run the world. It's just God, it's so superior to everything.
Aw.
But yeah, yeah, and it's certainly better than this fucking God. I don't even know anymore. I should probably watch myself. But yeah, a lot of things I could say about a lot of people, and my number is probably very close to up. So yeah, a great high spot, great high spot. Much longer episode of in review than I thought it would be because this really wasn't that big of a week, which makes me
Raw was
terrified.
really good this week, though.
It was. It was. Like, I really have to give a shout out to Judgment Day, Liv, and I mean Rhea's part of Judgment Day, but you get my point in saying Rhea individually because she
I
got a huge
agree. You
fucking
know
pop.
what? You almost have to now, though, because we don't know what the standing is anymore.
Oh yeah, that ain't gonna last. That ain't gonna last. Damn it, Dom, you and your chicken nuggets ruined everything.
Dude, I, I, I really want for there to be a moment at some point. Oh God, I have a hair in my mouth. Hang on. I think I got it. I really want for there to be a moment at some point in the next month, like between now and SummerSlam, where Dom and Rhea, like after Rhea has officially forgiven Dom, and she's just kind of like, fuck, I know you were in a hard spot, and I know that this is more Liv's fault than yours. So I guess I can forgive you, but I need a little bit of space. And they're just like hanging out in the Judgment Day locker room, and Dom's just like, "Hey, mommy," and she's just like, "Yeah, what's up, Dom?" And he's just like, "You want to get me some nuggies?" I barely holding it because Liv always brought him platters of nuggies, and
Fuck,
mommy never does that for Dom, but Liv does.
God, fuck, it's the poultry. It's the poultry plan. Fuck.
I want it so bad. I want
I
for
just
Dom to slowly realize that Liv actually did stuff for him that Rhea doesn't, and that's what leads to him turning on Rhea at SummerSlam.
and then they ask it backstage, Dom, why did you do it? For the nuggies. Let's go, babe.
Dude, I want him to be like, "Hey, mommy," and she's like, "Yeah, Dom, what's up?" And he's just like, "So, do you think that you could call me daddy?"
Oh god, dude, I just thought, and again, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. I need to be stopped. I know that. I know that. But I'm just thinking because Liv is so unhinged, the reporter, whatever, could just be like, Dom, why? For the nuggies. Let's go, babe. The oven's up to temp. And then Liv could just be like, so's mine. And they go to the back. Fuck. This storyline is unhinged, and I think it's a danger to people. I just don't know who yet. But I honestly I have to take a second here just to like give credit to Dom, just because I do think we take him a bit for granted. Like we have to remember, out of character, this dude is a grown ass man that's married.
Married.
Like, and he has no problem being infantilized doing this character. So honestly, my hat's off to Dom because like. There are people in wrestling. I know in some cultures it's worse than others. We just
Yeah.
had that Lady C fiasco recently. But like there are people that can't separate the character from real life, and I can't imagine how Dom gets treated by some people. So hats off to the dude because that's really something. Foster, you're not the only one that's confused. I've been confused for the last hour. Um, so yeah, just hats off to him and everybody. I love that
Do
you
you know how
ended with
old
that.
Dom is?
Is he like? I'm gonna say late 20s. Is he late 20s?
27.
Okay, so I was more or less right because I didn't give an exact number. I was more vague about it, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I figured
So
he
when you
wasn't
say
30 yet.
grown ass man, we're not just talking like, oh, he's 20 years old, he's a grown up. No, like he is an actual real grown ass man.
Yeah, in a fucking marriage and everything. And also, dude, legitimately, I don't even say this to start drama. Like, I'm being sincere. I want to know what his wife thinks about the work that he does.
I
Like,
would
does
be
she
so
watch the show?
curious if he's anything like his character in real life. Like, does the real Dominic Mysterio, like in real life, does the real, I should say, Dominic Gutierrez in real life ask for his wife to serve him nuggies on a platter?
Yeah, like he's watching footage with Ray going over his stuff, and he's just mindfully chewing on a nuggie. Yeah, yeah, that's fucking genius. We got it. Thank God I gave up meat a while ago. I rarely eat it because honestly, I feel like this storyline would turn me off of chicken nuggets. I don't know why, but it's
I've
getting a little disturbing to me.
literally I ate chicken nuggets like 20 hours ago.
But I'm guessing you didn't reflect on any of this while you were like chewing. You weren't thinking like, "Yeah, I'm Dominic Mysterio." You were probably just like,
I'll do you
"No,
one
I'm still
better.
me."
They were fun nuggets, dino nuggets. They were dinosaur shaped.
I love that you just refuse to forfeit your whimsy to anything. Just didn't grow up. Dino nuggies.
I
And
wish
the,
I could have heard any of that before Dino Nuggies.
and like and you're just like, the meteor will never wipe these out. Yeah.
See, but like you are infantilizing it. I don't treat it that way. I just like them because they're elongated and the regular nuggets are too round.
Uh so it's not a texture thing, it's a geometry thing?
Well, because I put my hot sauce on them, and I don't like my hot sauce to be in a puddle. I like it to be in a line.
You know what? Let's just end it here because these are clearly conversations beyond the scope of this podcast. I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. Foster, I don't even know if you're still up because the poor boy was already confused.
Alex, I'm so sorry.
I uh
You
I
hear my
love
mom
everybody.
dying laughing over here.
I do, and to be honest, I think we all needed this tonight because it was a crazy day today. So I want to thank everybody. Leave a like as you file out, subscribe, click the bell icon. Why am I still listening, bro? Why am I still talking? This should have ended an hour ago. Leave a like as you file out, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC, and we do our hot sauce in lines. Damn it, like real fucking men. And we'll see you guys again. When are we even fucking seeing them again, bro? I'm guessing next week is going to be more chill. I
Tuesday,
hope.
Fave Fives.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so please remind me Sunday too and Monday because I feel like it's gonna slip by me again. Tuesday at 5, Fave 5. I'm so excited because we don't have to talk about AEW ever again unless I want to put something in the other list because we have Marty Gold now, and that's so good.
Are you
I
okay?
did Crisp catch that or no?
It
Did you
did.
hear
It
that?
did.
Oh, thank you, Crisp. You are the best thing to ever happen to my sociopathy since me just embracing it, honestly. Fuck. So yeah, Tuesday at 5, Fave 5 is gonna be a totally normal one. It can't be any crazier than this. I feel like that's impossible. So yeah, we will see you guys then, and then anything else, we'll just be in touch. And yeah, thank you. Be good to yourselves and each other. Clearly follow the advice of a bestie over here and have a laugh. And yeah, tune in and peace out.